The New Zealand Gaming Championships League of Legends Premiership is presented by Let's Play Live, Australasia's new home of esports at letsplay.live. Logitech G, bringing you winning gaming devices, mice, keyboards, headsets and controllers. Game with passion, win with science. Logitech G. Twitch, the world's leading social video platform and community for gamers. Twitch.tv. The NZGC is powered by Playtech. Technology at play. Playtech is the #1 custom PC system builder in New Zealand. Visit playtech.co.nz. And all our fantastic technology and media partners. Now, let the gaming begin.
Tonight's matchup, Tigereye versus Too Easy. Week 5, Match 1 of the NZGC League of Legends Premiership. And of course, welcome back to the Hexadome. We are deep in the mire of our gauntlet. And tonight we have a rematch. Before we get too deep into that though, I of course am Matt Pixie Carroll. That sounded really conceited, I'm sorry. And of course joining me is Matt Smite Ross. What are we looking at tonight?
Well, because we're into the business end of the NZGC, we've already seen 2 teams go home, and another one will be doing just that again tonight after this best of 3. It's been one heck of a tournament. We've seen the best teams in New Zealand play, and we're getting ever closer to that grand final as well.
Yeah, not only is one of these teams going home tonight, they are teams that have both beaten each other. They've taken games off each other. This could honestly fall either way. Like, it's kind of nuts. It's nuts that we've ended up in this situation. Like I said, this is a rematch. This is a rematch for the Hexadome match we saw just 2 weeks ago. This is pretty cool stuff to see, right? And we're only at like the top of our gauntlet, really. So, wow. Let's take a look at this week's matches, though, what we've got coming up.
So, last Wednesday, we saw in the Hexadome King 5 take out a very convincing 2-0 victory against the Villains, sending them back into the gauntlet. Tigereye tonight will be playing against Too Easy, sending one of these teams home tonight, and then the winning team will move on to the last semi-final in the Hexadome on Wednesday. Villains will face off against either Tigereye or Too Easy, and that will be live on Sky Sport 3.
And there is so much on the line tonight for that exact reason. And then, of course, the winner of that Wednesday night match will go on to play King 5 in the grand final. And we've got a little bit more information about that grand final and how you can get tickets to it.
Esports is even better live. The NZGC League of Legends Premiership Grand Final is your chance to really experience the excitement of esports live. Wednesday, October 12, all roads lead to Motad and the Idea Collective to see who will be crowned champions. Tickets are on sale now at eventbrite.co.nz. Use the keyword NZGC. The NZGC League of Legends Premiership Grand Final. You just gotta be there live. Get your tickets now at eventbrite.co.nz.
So that's how you can pick up those tickets. And of course, tickets are limited, so get in quick. All you King 5 fans should have already snapped them up, surely. And if you aren't able to make it there, if you do miss out on the tickets, we do, of course, have a viewing party for that. And this Wednesday's matchup as well. Smite, do you want to talk to us about those viewing parties?
Well, we had one last week, and it was a bit of a blast as well. I enjoyed it. I went there after the matches. Again, on Wednesday, 7 p.m., or 6 p.m. starting, actually. An hour early, get in quick. It's going to be at the scene once again. There's going to be quizzes, there'll be cosplayers, and themed drinks, actually. I had a elixir of corruption, I think. Potion of corruption. It sounds weird, but it's actually pretty nice.
Is that not just a tequila shot?
There was tequila in it, actually.
Oh, but hey, all right.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're good at this.
Yeah,
but in any case, you can find out more information about this at letsplay.live, and you can even pre-register for the event for free, so that you can get an $8 hospitality voucher. That's essentially a free drink. So definitely go ahead and do that.
Yeah, or like half a plate of wedges. And it is, of course, like you said, going to be at the scene at the Viaduct, just next to Snapdragon, for those of you who haven't been there before. For those of you who were there last week, well, I hope you go again. It was pretty rad. So with all that in mind, that is, of course, this Wednesday. And before we even get there, to determine what team we're going to be seeing there, we have to get through tonight. And tonight is going to be a doozy. Let's just get right into this. Let's start diving into this one. Tigereye versus Too Easy. We've got a lot we could say about these two teams because they have met before. We'll take a look at their lineups in a moment. But before we do, ballpark, what are we expecting out of this?
Honestly, I've had this question so many times. Who's gonna win? Tigereye, Too Easy?
I still don't know who. This is why I'm asking you to take the load off me.
Well, unfortunately, I'm probably gonna have to end up guessing, but no, honestly, these teams have looked great against each other every time. It was the first time we had a Hexadome match go to a third game. Too Easy in the qualifiers came out ahead of Tigereye, but again, we saw Tigereye take out the victory most recently in the Hexadome. So it is really back and forth between these teams, but they're going to settle the score tonight.
Yeah, and this is kind of a scary one. I was saying this before, this is a scary one because Tigereye, in their ideal world, would have wanted to win that match once and then never have to see Too Easy again. You don't ever want to play against someone who has beaten you when there is so much on the line. That's a really scary thing, right? Too Easy, on the other hand, they're going to come into this with something to prove because they did lose out last time. So, again, even scarier for Tigereye. I don't know if that determines anything about who is likely to win this. It doesn't at all, but it just kind of frames what we're about to see and just the sheer gravity of this match. I mean, we're getting ever closer to the grand finals, and already this is really heating it up. Like, this is one of the hottest matchups.
I'm pretty sure we gave no information at all on who's going to win tonight. We did not give any predictions.
No,
because we
nothing
can't,
at all.
honestly, I can't.
But like I said, ballpark. Well, this is the ballpark that we're playing in. We don't know what the score is going to be, so we're going to find out. And in order to do that, first we're going to take a look at, of course, how these teams stack up head to head. Take it away with Tigereye.
Yeah, so of course, like you mentioned, it is Tigereye, and they'll be playing up against their rivals Too Easy tonight, even. And let's take a look at that lineup. Rare Fiction will be playing in the top lane. Bomi will be sneaking through the shadows in the jungle. Artiferns will be trying his hardest to carry in that mid lane. And way down on the bottom side of the map, it's OK Tiger and Brawler on that AD carry support duo.
And of course, coming up against them is Too Easy, hoping to make it look too easy tonight against Tigereye. They consist of Jack Attack up in the top lane, Brains and Brawn, Rin Toyama in the jungle, Arcale in the mid lane, one of many arcs in the country, and then of course an AD carry, their superstar Blinky, and his similarly superstar support Cupcake. Why are there so many S's in my sentences all of a sudden?
It's actually, there's a word for that.
Oh, sibilance.
Yes.
I know that one.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's like alliteration, but specifically with S's.
It's a really... Why would you pick that one?
Yeah, I don't know why we need that word. Why don't you just say alliteration, but with S's?
But why would you care about that when we've got one heck of a match coming up? We're back into the pick and ban. We're not back, we're heading into it straight away.
There we go, pick and ban. Oh, wow, awesome. Let's talk about what's off the board because that's Caitlyn. I'm not surprised that that is first banned, taken away from Blinky. They're not going to touch that, not with a 10-foot barge pole. I'm just putting the two sayings together, cover all my bases. The thing we saw last time these two teams met out of Tigereye specifically were team comps that controlled the mid-ground of the fight as much as possible. Rare Fiction was often instrumental in that on things like Gangplank, and already we're also seeing Time Kench take it away. We're going to jump back into that pick and ban in a second. I'll wrap up what I was saying about Tigereye though. I want to see them emphasize those same things because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But they have to keep in mind, Too Easy will have learned from that. That'll probably be one of the biggest things they've focused on in their time since, is figuring out how to beat that. So what do we think we might expect out of Too Easy?
The problem that Too Easy is facing is that there are a lot of power picks across the board that Tigereye can pick up. You want to target ban out OK Tiger, you want to target ban out his support Brawler, and then again, Rare Fiction is great at carrying certain champions in the top lane, and then of course there's Artiferns in the mid lane, and just to not leave him out, we've also got the jungler Rin Toyama as well.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw that lineup, but hey, let's recap it.
Yeah.
So in terms of, like I said, kind of beating out that team comp, we're just back into pick ban now, so we'll have that on your screens in a moment. In terms of beating out that play style from Tigereye that worked for them, what did Too Easy need to do in just the pure pick sense, and then what might they need to be bringing out in the game?
If you're looking to move away from a composition that's looking to get pick kills and maybe look for those mid-ground team fight compositions where you're fighting in tight spaces, go for a siege composition. You outrange your opponent, you avoid a lot of their pick, and importantly, you're never in the jungle very often. You keep it lit up with wards and you just siege down the turrets. It's an option if they're looking to counter out that particular playstyle.
Yeah. So then there's something on the board for them. On the table, Kindred has been taken away. This shows a lot of preparation out of Tigereye as well. I mean, we've just talked a lot about how 2EZ have definitely prepared for this, and of course they have, right? And they have maybe a bit more direction than Tigereye for how to prepare to this, because they know what they lost to, they know what they need to beat. Tigereye, on the other hand, I feel like there's less potential prep they could do, but clearly they have a plan. Taking Kindred away from Rin Toyama means they've scouted the heck out of him. And now Refiction has picked up exactly what I was talking about before, a Gangplank.
It's the thing when you're in New Zealand, of course, red side has to ban out Nidalee because other side's obviously going to pick it. It's just such a staple jungle pick right now. But of course, that's going to leave Gangplank open, and this is, I believe, the first time we've seen it first picked by a team in the NZGC, and it may show that they're actually starting to practice some of those power picks. And Gangplank, great option into a lot of blind matchups, because honestly, he doesn't care too much about that early game. Only about that late game and hitting level 6.
Well, more importantly, like I said, is what I was talking about before. It's exactly what they picked up when they beat 2EZ with that mid-ground control kind of approach. So Tigereye, they're taking the same approach here. I find that interesting in the first sense because, like we were just saying, that's something 2EZ could have most likely prepared for. So I want to see how they round this out, but first let's touch on what 2EZ have picked up. They've gone for Rek'Sai and now Ezreal, who we've started to see a lot of again.
Now, this could be interesting because they've already banned out Brawler's Tahm Kench. Nami is on the board, and even as recently as Worlds, which, I mean, it is a few patches behind what we're playing on now, but Nami, strong support, has been seeing play in the NZGC itself. One of Brawler's favorite champions, they could be looking to pick that away from him and also have a strong duo lane with the Ezreal, who in itself is a great blind pick into the bottom lane too.
Yeah, and also to touch on how that kind of goes into the anti-Tigereye strategy, and I'm just going to call it the Tigereye strategy now because, like I said, it's what worked. I don't want to keep saying mid-ground control. You guys know what I mean, right? So, and Ezreal is something that kind of doesn't want to fight. I know that sounds silly. He doesn't go in the same way. He doesn't need to get past that mid-ground. He can just sit far back. If you go dive onto him, he can go even further back. I say as I back away from the podium, see how this works.
See you later.
Yeah, bye.
I can't fight you because you're too far away.
Exactly. And then he points to you, which is really rude, and it does damage. So Ezreal, I think, is a really smart pickup for that reason. It's the disengage that helps. And speaking of, they're then rounding that out with Braum, and now they've given themselves a Gnar. I feel like 2EZ are just going for options. They're going, Tigereye, you can pick whatever team comp you want. We're going to counter you out in terms of the vision game, and I expect some proactivity out of them as well.
Now, the thing is with the Gnar pickup and the Braum, like you said, rounding out a bit more of a disengaged composition, the way they can play that out is they can play a disengaged comp the way you always do. You have someone split pushing off in the lane, Gnar, great champion for doing that, but also if things start to get a little bit hairy, if they're not playing the disengage correctly and maybe they get caught out, if they're managing the communication between the rage bar for Gnar so that he can come in, use his ultimate, then they can get them out of a lot of hairy situations.
Yeah, hairy situations, hairy like Gangplank's beard. Also now we have Artiferns taking Vladimir for himself. Champion we've seen him play a lot, but they're holding the mid lane pick open here, 2EZ. Now, OK Tiger's hovering Sivir, I expect them to pick that as well. And again, this is that mid-ground control. This is exactly what Tigereye played that worked. And this is a best of 3, right? They could have other strategies in their back pocket. They're going, let's just try and pick up a win with this one again. Hey, it worked last time. And if it turns out that 2EZ have figured out how to counter it and then do that, Tigereye still have 2 whole games that they can potentially use to come back in it. So I like this whole draft in the macro sense, even though there might have been good reason for them to take other stuff. And yeah, Hua indeed, quick pickups, 2EZ. I feel like with that Victor pick, it's kind of like they're trying to do the exact same thing as Tigereye, though I don't know if they have the same number of tools for it.
It works pretty well into the disengaged composition as well. You've got wave clear to defend against sieges if you are going for a split push strategy that you disengage away from. Victor also dropping the gravity field makes it that much harder to follow you. And also, it's a good matchup into the Vladimir as well. You've got wave clear to match him. You've got burst potential, which is one of the ways to counter out Vlad. So I feel like Victor, great as a counter pickup to the Vlad, but also to the composition that's being run by Tigereye.
Yeah, well, we're going to come back and take a bigger look at this matchup and maybe talk about win conditions a bit. I say maybe, we're definitely going to do that. But first, we're going to give a quick recap of what we saw on Wednesday, because of course, come next Wednesday, it's going to be all important.
We saw King 5 get it done and get it done well. 2 games to 0, and it was quick, it was swift, and it was brutal.
Yep, as soon as King 5 got an inch, they took a mile, they pulled the trigger, and they ended it so quickly when they could. Villains held on for a little while. They really stayed in there and showed why they were number 2, but number 2 wasn't good enough today. They really, when things started to go bad, oh man, did they go bad.
They went very, very bad for one team. Let's have a look at all the action with the casters.
In game 1, it was a battle of the Titans as both teams fought back and forth, evening up the gold for the majority of the game. We saw many overconfident fights come out from the Villains where they lost fights, and King 5 were able to command the most important engagements in the game. Both teams fought back and forth, focusing around the structures mostly, and Villains did what they could to hold on, but King 5, with their disengaged comp, were able to hold steadfast and turn the fights back around in their favor. Up until about 22 minutes into the game, we saw the gold very even, but a very important call from King 5 saw Shiny at the bottom side of the map, the furthest away from Baron Nashor, which allowed King 5 to take a team fight there with a large numbers advantage. And they secured the Baron, they secured many kills, and with that, opened the base wide open and took a 7,000 gold lead. They used this gold lead to get the victory.
And game 2 saw the Villains coming in with something to prove, and some strong early moves suggested a return to form for the reigning champs. But King 5 had refined their gameplay from game 1 and ran circles around the Villains in the mid-game. It took a Baron in game 1, but in game 2 it was pure dominance that opened the game up for King 5, resulting in their most convincing win yet, punching their ticket to the grand finals and sending the Villains plummeting back down into the gauntlet. And it was exactly these kinds of fights we saw here. Again, Raven on Poppy in the top lane was a force to be reckoned with, bringing so much disengage, forcing numerical advantages in each and every fight. The Villains just didn't ever seem to know how to react. And again, it was the dominance, the out-rotation here, catching the likes of Kenzie in the middle of nowhere, turning it into hugely advantageous fights. And that was really the story of the game. We also saw some of the most stellar one-on-one play out of Raven. Again, the use of the Poppy ultimates was absolutely genius throughout this. We saw that in stealing the Rift Herald, taking a solo kill on Bun Bun. Some of the cleverest play we've seen out of him yet. And this was the fight that storied the rest of the game here. It looked like Villains had found their way in. They looked like they'd caught little decoy, but Bun Bun on the backside was the one who was truly caught. And an amazing response from Raven, threading the needle and stunning Shiny up mid-ultimate, turned the fight right on its head. From here on out, it was disaster for the Villains as KO walked out of this fight with a triple kill. It was not long until the victory screen was up for the Villains and they secured themselves the 2-0 victory and the path directly to the grand finals.
Welcome back. How are you? That looked really normal. I know. I was actually high-fiving someone off camera. I'm sorry.
It was
I'm
me.
Sorry.
We reach around the center. Like,
That's
it's
how
like
it
Pac-Man.
works. No,
right?
it's like Snake. You know,
Pac-
but
they
the
kind
one
of
without
both-
the walls.
They kind of both work.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Pac-Man 5. It's let's not do that again.
No,
So, of
never
course,
again.
that was what we saw on Wednesday. King 5, of course, picking up that 2-0, securing themselves to pass the finals. Winner of tonight will go on to play the Villains, who are reeling from a bit of a loss. So you can bet they will have put in a lot of prep for Wednesday's match. I guarantee they are in Twitch chat with you right now because they want to know how these teams play and how they win it. So let's speak to that as we hit the rift for game 1 of Tigereye versus 2 Easy. One of these teams is going home tonight and we will be left with our top 3.
And of course, that's going to be super important for both teams as we do load into Summoner's Rift right now. But, like you ask, how are these teams looking to win their game 1 of this best-of-3 series? Tigereye have a strong early game, as any team does when they bring out Lee Sin. They have diving potential there, but you talked about it a lot as the Tigereye special during Champion Select. It's controlling the zones around team fights, and Gangplank brings that massively, and Artiferns, once he gets that late-game Vladimir stage, is going to bring that even more.
The other thing I want to mention with Tigereye as well is they don't have the strongest lanes. They've got decent lanes, but it's not necessarily the absolute strongest. They will take a little bit of time, so we need to see a lot of proactivity from Bomi. We touched on this as well, though, in Champions League, how 2 Easy can counter out this Tigereye style of gameplay. First of all, what is that? Second of all, how do they do that? Thirdly, how do they then win?
Now, the thing is, against dive compositions, you've got to keep yourselves clear with vision around your turrets, particularly in the early laning phase. And we might not even have time to talk about that as the concussive blows.
Oh, what a spell shield just to stop up that stun there. But that is big chunks on OK Tiger. Brawler's going to have to spend a lot of mana. I talked about how this isn't necessarily a winning lane either. This could spell disaster for them.
And not to mention, starting with spell shield as well, you don't have Boomerang Blade now. You can't wave clear as well as you normally would. You don't have a Karma to match that extra wave clear that the Sivir normally wants to bring. They're still trying to go in for it, but it's warded.
Yeah, this is warded. It's like as if they didn't notice it from last time. Now Brawler's going to take a track. They do stop the Gromp start, which is all they really wanted to do, but they are just going into this lane, you know, a little bit lower than they kind of want to be. And like you said, spell shield start, not ideal. Oh, now they're going to get split up. Ooh.
Split up, but luckily Brawler does manage to dodge that Winter's Bite. So, gosh, breathing a little bit of safe air there, but OK Tiger and Brawler are in for one heck of a rough laning phase. They don't have a level 2 spike because, as you can already see, Cupcake at level 1 on Brown is one of the strongest supports to go against. It brings so much kill potential, as we already saw with the Concussive Blows passive.
And now, Tigereye, they are safe in that lane. They're just going to take their time, try and ramp that one up. I almost guarantee we're going to see a cull on both of those. In fact, we've even seen Sivir's Bite and cull in losing situations. So moving away from that, I want to take a look at this mid lane matchup and talk about it a bit, because you touched on the Victor into Vlad, and of course it was last picked here. But we talked about the strength Artiferns is going to bring later to Tigereye. How does RKL need to shut this down early?
Well, RKL can move into Artiferns' early laning phase because Victor does bring out wave clear, burst potential, a lot of good trading as well. It's going to be a little bit about his mana management and how well he can actually hit his skill shots, and whether Artiferns is going to take that damage. But Bomi, that's so cheeky!
Stop it! Well, in any case, Rin Toyama misses out on that one, which is actually kind of bad news for him, because you can see how aggressively Jack-Attack is playing, as the Gnar into Gangplank should, and now he has to be a bit careful with how he pushes up, because they don't have that vision control over the river anymore.
And Jack-Attack is one of the strongest, no, I'm going to say it, the strongest...
Yeah, he's the best Gnar we've got.
The strongest Gnar we've seen in the NZGC so far. Plays those tank champions so well, is so used to them, but there's that ward you were talking about. He's now got vision down in the river. He should be fairly safe from any ganks, as long as he keeps control of his rage bar, doesn't get too immobile later on.
And it's going to be quite key for Jack-Attack, quite even in CS for both of these guys, but he's going to try and keep Refiction pressured as much as possible. And what that can provide him is space to teleport. We also didn't touch on this, but of course Refiction brings a lot of global pressure early, and it's quite hard for Jack-Attack to answer that, so I feel like there has to be a lot of disengage for a long time for Too Easy. There's a lot of time that Tigereye can kind of be spent ramping up.
Now, credit to OK Tiger and Brawler, right? We saw them come into the lane with a big disadvantage. They've now evened up the CS into what is a pretty scary-looking lane. Of course, it's no Lucian Brown, but Israel can put out the kill potential from pretty far away from Nami's harass. But the sustain that comes from a Nami pickup brings them back up to full health, and now it's pretty much like that engagement never even happened.
Yeah, the one thing I expect we're going to see out of Blinky and Cupcake here, though, is some kill pressure. And already we're seeing Rin Toyama wanting to play to that a little bit. He does get spotted out by wards, but he's kind of telegraphed what his plan is here, especially after losing that topside Rift Scuttler. We now know exactly where he's going to focus.
And at the same time as well, he's been getting deep vision into the enemy jungle. We saw red pings out onto Bomi, and that is key when you're going up against a Lee Sin. I talked about it before. It's a strong early game composition that can bring dive potential as well. And on the flip side, Rin Toyama able to hand over the blue buff. I talked about the mana management.
Yeah, now I want to touch on this because this is something we've started to see a whole lot of, and is why Lee Sin is one of the most favored junglers right now, alongside Rek'Sai. Manaless.
Oh,
hold up a sec. He's going
right.
to be able to leap out. He'll be fine. Bomi, he's going to look for something. I don't even think he can afford to go into the turret because of the flash. Nice one there. Dodges out the Q. Bomi blowing his flash there. I mean, Jack-Attack losing his flash isn't good news, but he'll be all right.
It's much more important to have a flash as a laner than a jungler, particularly when you're Lee Sin.
Let's go back to the manless champions, though. And nice segue there. Going back to Lee Sin. Manless champions giving that blue buff over, because the other thing is in that mid lane, RKL can use the blue buff a lot more than Artiferns anyway, so smart early move by Rin for sure. That needs to be leveraged by RKL, though, and I think that honestly means we need to see some roaming from him. Well, I don't think I know. He needs to roam. He needs to roam.
So, of course, Victor is a great roaming champion. Isn't bringing teleport like we've seen some of the Victor players actually take it to the mid lane. But the fact is, he's able to pin him into the mid lane, but who cares about that?
Yeah, well, some of us do, but Bomy's going to have to go out of turret if he wants to close this one out. He's sticking under there. They will get first blood. Oh, is that one shot too many? What? There's Rin with it. And now he's going to get onto Rare Fiction. Throws down the ultimate, but I mean, Rare Fiction's still on the minion wave. Rin can just kind of live through this one. Does have to blow his flash fruit, but hey, he's a happy camper, picking up 2 kills there for himself. Not super ideal, but to be honest, that's not a bad deal either. Having kills on a Rek'Sai against a Lee Sin is good news for when Lee Sin falls off.
Yeah, definitely want to scale up into that late game tank that can control the front line of your team and honestly force a lot of that mid lane, mid-side control, I don't know, the mid-ground control that comes out from Tigereye.
I want to say mid-range, but that's also a Hearthstone term, so I feel dirty using it here.
Yeah, well, we'll see the tempo pick up as Archael is starting to shove into the mid lane. And now, here's
Playing
that
aggro
roaming that you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's hit level 6, he's got his ultimate on the way, dropping wards as he goes to catch out any counter roams.
And this is so nice because this is the mid laner putting down vision that the jungler normally would. Rin Toyama, meanwhile, can stick around the top side where Jack Attack was able to get back to lane faster. And now we're starting to see Rin Toyama able to get the top side vision control that he wanted earlier when he lost out that scuttle crab to Bomi.
Bomi as well, he's shown a lot of attention to the top side of the map. And hang on though, there's a bit of a scuffle into the jungle.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm expecting to see. Rin Toyama even placing down the aggressive ward. This blue buff probably still gets handed over to Artiferns, or maybe Bomi actually just takes it for his own experience, but this means Rin Toyama has plenty of time. He's not even looking for kills, just wants to bully out Rare Fiction, and that's going to be their plan here because Rare Fiction is so key to that mid-ground control.
Of course, one of the best ways to counter out that Gangplank power spike at level 6 is to camp him, is to tower dive him. Make sure that you can force him to use his ultimate on himself rather than another lane. And in the Jack Attack, in the Gnar into Gangplank matchup, Gnar's going to win anyway.
Yeah, he's already favored, and we're starting to see that with the CS lead that he has. And still Rare Fiction is stuck under turret. Like you said, you want him to blow his ultimate on his own lane. That is the way Jack Attack alleviates that global pressure, and already we're seeing the continuation of that. The return from Rin Toyama.
There is no flash for him to get in immediately. Rare Fiction, he's lacking a flash of his own, and if he steps forward just a little bit, this could be a kill.
He hasn't figured it out. You can tell he's wanting to ward. He hasn't even figured out that something's up, but they're going to commit because Jack Attack's gone Mega Rare Fiction. He is a dead man. I don't even know why I yelled Jack Attack. It was really just waiting for the Mega, and honestly, Rare Fiction stayed too far forward for too long.
And now the key thing is, how does Tigereye react to this on the back foot? They're 15 seconds away from having a Gangplank ultimate. Their top lane turret is going down, but they can't match anything. Bomi is getting a Rift Scuttler.
Yeah,
that's a net win.
They can get a Dragon, maybe, but even then, that's not going to make up for this. I don't even know if this turret will fall because there will be the Gangplank ultimate. But I was going to say, they were able to kill Rare Fiction without him ulting himself, but now because they're putting the pressure on the turret, here we go. He has to blow the ultimate anyway to clear the lane. And they might still take this turret. This is even better than good for Tigereye. Sorry, too easy. It's the other team.
Rin Toyama get the heck out of there. But now he knows, Bomi knows that Rin Toyama, low health in the top lane, is going to be forced to recall, but it's a Rek'Sai, and he's but crucially he has stomped out a lot of tunnels in the reaction. So now this should be a
smart
call to take out the Ocean Drake.
They will actually get the Drake. Like I said before, I don't feel like this ends up being an even trade just because they forced out the Gangplank ultimate. They get this dragon, but they can't really go for like a dive bottom or anything, and after this Bomi has to back, which means Rin Toyama can go for a dive bottom. Overall, they're pressuring Rare Fiction in the right kind of way. They're only a little bit ahead in gold though, so the question is, what specifically do Too Easy do now that Rare Fiction can't affect the map?
Well, they can't rely... with Rare Fiction's ability to affect the map just not there anymore, they can relax a little bit on camping. I mean, they can continue. It doesn't have flash for a little while.
Yeah, no reason not
but
to.
Another option is, of
They
course,
kind of want to get other lanes snowboarding, of course.
with Dragon gone, the last objective that's not a tower is the Rift Herald. You've got Jack Attack, who is already a powerhouse that's going to be looking to split push later on. You could look to go for an early Rift Herald take.
Now, I would agree with that, but the only thing I can't help but feel is the way Too Easy lose this from here is only focusing top. And that's because of Artiferns, right? He's a little bit behind CS and Archael, and this is a good matchup for Archael. But Artiferns is still a Vlad. He's still going to get big at some point and be a terrible dive threat alongside Bomi, with or without Rare Fiction being strong. So I want to see Rin Toyama start to leverage the pressure into a dive in mid, and Cupcake's roaming up for that.
You know who focused top lane against a team that had a Vlad in the mid lane and still won.
Can we not talk? Do we have to? It was INTZ.
Old
of
mate
course.
Ince from Brazil taking down the top seed from China, TDG.
Yeah,
But you
well,
know, that's a completely different tournament, but just a little
This
fun
is how
fact.
they do it, yeah. And part of that, funny enough, it is actually worth bringing up, I think, because part of that is using the top lane to leverage other lanes, because it wasn't like they dove top. It was like then suddenly top was diving everyone else. I feel like they want to go one more time up here. I don't disagree with this, but they weren't able to get the line on the Vlad, so I guess they don't have many other options.
But Bomi is matching it. He's reading and he knows that Rare Fiction is going to be targeted. His flash is now up, and Bomi, he's looking to bring in some kill potential.
Did they see each other?
I don't think he spotted him.
No,
no way.
Neither of them saw each other. So actually now Bomi backs Rin Toyama. He didn't see Bomi back, but Bomi didn't see Rin Toyama. And now there's an opening to kill Ray Fiction. He does have his flash and ult though. This isn't going to be as easy as last time. But Jack Attack is mega. There goes the ultimate down now. Ray Fiction, he's had to walk away from his turret. Flashes back under Jack Attack, having to tank it for a time being. But Rin Toyama's the one tanking it now. Artifans has come up for the response though. And this is how Tigereye can get back in. It's getting Artifans big. He's going in. Ray Fiction nearly dies. Artifans goes down the ult, but RKL matches the rope. And now if they can turn it onto Artifans, this will be huge for Too Easy into the gravity well. He does eat it up, but he will be able to get a little bit of heal out of that Q. They aren't able to get any more follow-up. They don't quite get the kill on Artifans, nor do they get the turret, which was what they were after, but they do get a kill.
It's just a net gold gain for Too Easy right now, which is exactly what they want to go for. And it's just showing that RKL, he's able to match the roaming potential from Artiferns, and Rare Fiction being camped means that that ultimate is not being used to affect the other lanes. In fact, one of them we haven't even seen in ages, that bottom lane.
Yeah, so this is also now Rare Fiction's teleport to top. So Jack Attack, he now has a big window where he can affect other lanes. I was saying they needed to do it before. Looking back, I was wrong. What they've done has worked because now they have more opportunity to use that global pressure. But they can't if Rin Toyama just dies here. Artifer's ready for it. Rin flashes, and the follow-up flashes there. Shutdown. Goes over to Bomi, which isn't ideal, but hey, killing Rin Toyama means that's less time they can leverage Rare Fiction's ult being down.
And it's also just Rare Fiction having a little bit of breathing room, being able to farm underneath that turret. We all knew he wasn't going to have a good early laning phase. So now getting a little bit more time up there to get some farm is going to be good. And Jack Attack, he's also dropping low on health.
Yeah, he's going to be just fine. He hasn't actually backed, which is why he looks a lot worse for wear, but he will be able to back up, get some items before long. But I want to talk about a little bit of what's going on in the river here, because Bomi having killed Rin Toyama is also starting to do with the vision control there. I do think that's a smart idea, but I had just said, I don't think Rin Toyama needs to worry about looking top anymore. He needs to worry about getting Jack Attack doing other stuff across the map, but here we're seeing exactly that.
Yeah, Rin Toyama coming into effect bottom lane for the first time in the game, and it's just going to be a little bit of showing his face. Now, something I want to talk about, how bottom lane has not had any attention, not even from the mid laners, right? It means that Blinky is able to survive through that Tears of the Goddess weakness phase as we see Rare Fiction slink away from the fight there.
I want to talk about what just went on there. Jack Attack blew teleport to get up top. He nearly actually killed Rare Fiction. He drew Bomi up. It wasted Bomi's time, but Rin Toyama wasted his time bottom. And I feel like a teleport was blown for no one gaining anything on either team, which ends up being a net loss for Too Easy.
Never Too Easy. Never mind, Jack Attack.
Really? Bomi stuck around. Jack Attack flash. Q.
Oh.
Oh, no way! Oh, jeez! Well, okay, that is the ultimate down again. That's, you know, like I said, there's potential now for Too Easy to do other stuff across the map, but they've now missed 2 windows back-to-back with Rare Fiction's ultimate being down, and I feel like Too Easy is starting to drop the ball here. What do they need to do to pick this one back up and actually take advantage of Rare Fiction?
I feel like Jack Attack has got the advantage in the top lane. We don't need to see any more attention up there. Yes, snowballing a lane into Oblivion is great, but Jack Attack, he's got Frozen Mallet, is going to be able to kite Rare Fiction all day long. Rare Fiction's still sitting on the pieces of a Trinity Force, so already the laning advantage is there for Jack Attack, but now with the item advantage as well, it just shows that Rin Toyama, he can start showing his face in other lanes. Don't be scared, buddy.
Yeah, he's still sneaking around the top side, which is, of course, the one place Bomi has vision, because Bomi has prioritized clearing out Rin Toyama's top vision. He doesn't want Rare Fiction to get too muscled out, and that could be something Rin Toyama exploits by just not going top. He's continuing to go there, though. So Too Easy obviously feel that this is integral to their team comp and how they win this game. So assuming they do just snowball top into Oblivion, how do they then leverage that into the win here? Personally, I don't believe that that's the way to do this, but obviously they've got a plan.
The thing is, it's talking about how the team matches it. So far, we've seen Tigereye struggling to just come up and just keep Rare Fiction alive. And to their credit, it's working. He's not dying quite as often. Although I might completely eat my words here.
Yeah.
Well, Rintoyama is showing his face.
I feel like this is maybe it. They just wanted to get that turret down before they started using the global pressure they have. I don't know if that was necessary, but in any case, it is done now, and that is standing gold off the map, so good work for Too Easy. Now, though, I would say they have to start leveraging the global pressure.
Well, I mean, now that they've got that top lane turret down, they can delve a little bit deeper into the enemy jungle. You can already see on the mini-map, right? There aren't a whole lot of wards there. And they could use that advantage to go down there, track Bomey's movements just a little bit more, even track Rare Fictions as he pushes up and tries to stay safe, because with his turret down, that's a dangerous lane for a Gangplank to farm at only 16 minutes into the game. No Triforce yet.
Okay, let's touch on something that isn't this top lane at long last. I feel like we've said about everything that needs to be said for now until either of those top laners comes into the rest of this game. Swinging, I want to talk about this bottom lane because both have just kind of sat on an island, but that island has started to favor Tigereye.
I feel like it definitely favors Tigereye just a little bit more than Too Easy because, okay, Tiger and Brawler definitely play into the composition. Blinky has had a bit of a slump in his items because of that Tears of the Goddess, and they are winning out in the farm. They're pushing into the turret, and Dragon Control is going to be the next stage of the game, now a top tower down.
I feel like this is a team fight that favors Tigereye very heavily if they get the right position. Oh, and bubbling Rintoyama is the way to do that. He's already flashed. Adafans actually wants it. It might be too deep, but oh, a sick kick plus the ultimate from the Gangplank. They don't get any kills, but they are forcing Too Easy way away from this dragon, and this will be a pickup for Tigereye.
The key thing as well is that Jack Attack held onto his teleporter. By held on, I mean he wasn't ready yet. But the fact is he didn't run away from the lane. Rare Fiction affected the bottom side of the map, but Jack Attack was able to stay up there. And look on the minimap, he's shoving straight into that tower. Rare Fiction's health bar is dropping, but at the same time, it now means Jack Attack will be able to teleport. Rare Fiction, he's going to be too low to do so.
They want to come back in here now. Rintoyama, he hasn't been able to ult to get back in, so this is only the carries. Adafans, who he gets stunned up, and they've already secured the dragon. Now it's just about getting out, and Bomey's going to make sure that happens. Blinky's trying to get big on Brawler, but it's hard to do because OK Tiger's still there. Rintoyama is fighting in the fight, but Blinky is too low, I think, to follow this up. It's just going to be Rintoyama trying to kill OK Tiger. No one else has died yet. Rintoyama, he needs to not go too deep here. A bubble will stop him, and he's just not going to be able to catch it at all. OK Tiger even had flash, so he was well safe there. And a great move by Tigereye, muscling out Too Easy, using that global pressure from the Gangplank, which Too Easy had spent so much time trying to shut down, and they are going to lose a turret for this though.
And despite them taking the second dragon of the game, they lose their mid lane turret right now. That's a 2-0 turret loss right now for them. That's a lot of standing gold right now, and that's almost entirely showing in the gold advantage. It's only 2,000. It's not a huge lead just yet, but it's one that Too Easy needs to start leveraging because later this game goes, there's a Gangplank and a Vladimir.
There is a Gangplank and a Vladimir, but the thing I kind of want to touch on, which is instead of referring to this bottom lane, is of course this is an Ezreal, and he's already picked up a frozen fist here, that Iceborne Gauntlet. So he can do a ton of work, also now just picking up a Mana Moon, so he can do a ton of work himself in the late game, and that's something they can utilize in the late game, just kiting out, not going over the Gangplank and Vlad to fight, forcing him to come to you, which I do think favors Too Easy.
And Ezreal really turns on once that Mirror Mana is actually fully stacked up. So once we see that happening, that might be the time when Blinky and even Cupcake start grouping up and doing that very strategy, pulling out the disengage composition while pulling in Jack Attack whenever they need to actually win a team fight.
Sure, speaking of pulling in Jack Attack, Bomey looking to reel in that kill. He is going to clear out a ward instead, get spotted, Jack Attack backs off. A lot of time spent up there for Jack Attack now, and that's actually time Rintoyama is starting to spend being a bit more proactive around the mid and bottom sides here. I'm liking this movement into the bottom as OK Tiger recalls. He might be in trouble. Brawler nearly getting stunned. Rin sticking around.
Oh.
Brawler, ooh. And they actually got the ward down in time for that sweeper to have run out as well. They're not quite going to find this dive here, but they will be able to pressure this turret because Archael is roaming down as well. There needs to be a response here from Tigereye.
Adafans is the response though. He's roamed down, he's got a lot of mid-game power right now. Ghost is up, which means he's able to sprint into the back line right now. Rare Fiction, he's got a bit of pressure up in the top side of the map.
Yeah, was able to get the turret.
Bringing up a turret and going to be able to recall. He's still got teleport.
Yeah,
he's
that
still got his
actually
ultimate.
ended up evening it up for Tigereye by a significant amount, I feel, in terms of the overall tempo of this game. Because that's now twice, I would say, that Too Easy have kind of set up for something in the rest of the map and had it not work out for them.
Bomey's still trying to affect the map in any way he can. But Archael, he's got Ghost popped.
Yeah, RKL, he's looking for it. I don't know if he can get it, though, without that ultimate anymore. And Jack Attack he didn't have a way to get that last bit towards Mega, so he couldn't jump in to secure that one out. And ultimately, like I said again, Too Easy set up for something, didn't find it. And Tigereye, by being proactive, like normally what they would have done there is got a trade, but because Too Easy didn't get anything, it's just an out-and-out win for Tigereye.
Both teams sitting pretty dead even there in the goal. It's within 500 of each other, and there is still a turret to match up both sides. There is a 2-dragon lead for Tigereye, though.
And those 2 dragons could spell the difference here. It's just a Cloud Drake and an Ocean Drake, which doesn't help them significantly, but the mobility will do wonders for them purely because Too Easy need to be affecting other lanes, right? And they kind of want to have, by the way, when I say other lanes, I mean lanes that aren't top, which means they're the ones that want to have the Cloud Drake. I know we've focused on this a lot, but I feel like they've kind of lost a bit of initiative here.
Brawler, he may have a little trouble here, but, well.
Yeah, so, like I said, Too Easy, I feel like they might have lost a little bit of initiative here. So the question again comes, they need to leverage Jack Attack. How do they do that? How do they set up for that? Because they look a little bit lost.
Well, look at Jack Attack. He's still pushing into the top lane, right? And this is the right thing. Oh, taking a big barrel.
Yeah.
But if he's doing this, his team needs to be reacting on the other side of the map as a 4-man unit. They've still got the disengage now that the Frozen Fist and Muramana are there. They can actually start moving as the 4-man unit, start sieging down turrets, and if they're in trouble, back off and call in Jack Attack in an emergency.
But is this maybe the weakness of this draft? Like you said, they have a lot of disengage, but we're also saying they need to be a bit proactive. It feels like they're wanting Tigereye to be proactive so that Too Easy can take advantage of it with their draft. But Tigereye aren't going to do that because they know that they don't necessarily have that pressure just yet. Also, we see Tigereye are a team that is willing to play patient. Is this maybe just a weakness of Too Easy in that even though they've got this top going, they can't actually leverage it into other lanes?
I feel like, yes, they can't actually leverage it because they don't have the raw engage power. Rin Toyama, flash engage, that's about it. They've really all they've really got for tower diving potential, and you don't want to dive against a squad anyway. You want to bring them to you. And the only way to really do that, apart from sieging down a turret, is to force out objectives. Now, with Dragon coming up in 45 seconds, it's going to be on Too Easy to get ward control because that's also crucially important to bring them in. But catching up Bomi could be just as good.
They're just going to be able to land down some poke. It's just love taps, as they try and get a handle on the vision control. And I agree with what you said just there, Too Easy. They need to be looking for this next dragon. I think if they lose this dragon, I mean, look, it's not going to like spell disaster or anything, but it's going to give a lot back to Tigereye after Too Easy puts so much work in trying to shut them down early. This is the other way they leverage it. That's just straight up pulling Jack Attack out of lane, but already Tigereye have backed off, so now Jack Attack is just kind of here.
The thing is, now there's a time window for Too Easy to actually engage on this dragon. They have to do it now because Rare Fictions, he's just farming in the top lane. He's got his ultimate. He doesn't even have to leave that lane to affect this team fight. They have to engage very hard, bring Too Easy, Tigereye into them, force the teleporter out of Rare Fiction. Otherwise, he's going to farm.
And this is a key dragon. What if it gets stolen? It doesn't, Bomi. He is able to get out. They throw out the Gangplank ultimate as well, so it looked like Tigereye actually wanted to fight. So that brings that away from Rare Fiction. They need to get someone up to that top lane quick smart, though, just to make sure this dragon doesn't get traded back by Tigereye.
It is definitely a net win for Too Easy, getting the Infernal Drake of all dragons, because, of course, that's one of the most powerful ones to get. It brings them more damage. And, well, all Rare Fiction got out of that was maybe 15, 20 CS and did shove the lane in. He threw out his ultimate. That's now down. It's definitely in favor of Too Easy.
Well, that shove is significant, though, because that shove equates to global pressure, and now he's throwing out the teleport to go bottom, while Artifans goes on RKL mid, and this minion wave pushes top, so Jack Attack is hit to answer top, which means Tigereye are going aggressive on the rest of the map, and now they've found Blinky in the bottom lane with Bomi. Nice pickups there. Artifans coming in for the collapse. A double kill already going down. I want to see what's going on. I don't care about Artifans' pathing. Rin Toyama might be the only one to get out of this one, but Artifans is going to make sure that doesn't happen, and this is what they bought themselves. This is how they answer. The shove force Jack Attack away. The rest of the team puts on the pressure, and this is how they fight. Too Easy snowballed the top. Suddenly they didn't have it. They lose a fight.
and your disengage doesn't mean much if you're getting picked off one by one. And now with this winning team fight, Tigereye now sitting at a 6-5 kill lead. They're looking at a tier 2 turret in the bottom side of the map. There's no dragon to turn around and get, but that is now a gold gain, 3,000 gold lead, a massive win for Tigereye.
That is the way they do it. That's the way they get back into this. And I'll be honest, a lot of this has just been too easy, not leveraging what they had at the right time. Let's take a look at how that bottom lane skirmish played out, though.
Yeah, so again, it's the unique pathing coming up from Rin Toyama. OK Tiger just dropped way too low at the start of that fight, and Brawler struggling to come back in. Rin Toyama, with that early game lead, is a brick wall, standing in the way of all the damage coming out for Tigereye. But Tigereye managed to turn it around with a great bubble there.
All Bomi to turn it around. And yeah, the bubble as well, stopping Cupcake on the backside. But Bomi's pathing as well got him in behind. So as much as there was strong early movement by Rin Toyama, ultimately the Lee Sin was just able to have more of an effect, just brought more tools to it.
And this shows the chasing potential of Artiferns as well as we come out of that replay. He has Rylai's Crystal Scepter, so in these extended chases, if Artiferns is able to catch up, especially with Ghost, he's going to be able to slow down the enemy teams and cripple 2Easy's disengaged composition if he catches even one of them out.
Now, 2Easy, they need to take it a little bit more slowly. They've kind of lost the advantage they'd built in the top lane. Even though the Nara is still ahead, this is still a force to be reckoned with out of Rare Fiction. They're trying to answer with a turret, though, in the bottom lane, trying to keep Rare Fiction down as best as they can. And he has not got that ultimate for a long while again.
Yeah, he's actually forced to use it to try and defend the turret down on the bottom side of the map, but didn't even manage to do just that. He doesn't have teleport now. If 2Easy can keep him down there, they could win team fights on the other side of the map. They could try and pressure out objectives. Of course, they're going to have to pull Cupcake away, pull Blinky away for that. But Tigereye, what have they done to match this? They haven't gone for a dive. They haven't gone for a tower. This is just flat free gold for 2Easy.
It is flat free gold for them, but while this has been going on, Tigereye have been getting a lot of vision in the top side, and the reality is, after getting that turret, Blinky and Cupcake do have to back away. Rare Fiction doesn't, so he's just going to stick around in that lane and do exactly what he just did up top. He's going to force the pressure down here, while the vision has been gained on the rest of the map, and I bet we're going to see Tigereye go aggressive here, unless 2Easy, no, they're not going to find anything.
Artiferns still has Ghost, so he can get out of trouble if he needs to. Of course, well, we talk about all the disengage coming up from 2Easy. There's some of that as well for Tigereye in terms of the Sanguine Pool, Lee Sin's mobility. I think they're going to be just fine for now. We're hitting that late game stage. Almost 28 minutes into the game, and this is where Rare Fiction and Artiferns are really going to turn on. Once that flash is available for Artiferns again, he will get to the back line and rip apart 2Easy with all of his damage and all of his tankiness.
Artiferns slowly becoming a force to be reckoned with. And Rare Fiction as well is still able to keep up that side lane pressure, and it's pressure that hasn't been matched by Jack Attack. I feel like that's because really 2Easy need Jack Attack more for these fights than they need him on the side lane. I agree with their call to pull him in, but unless they can actually win some fights here, that strategic call is going to start costing them as Rare Fiction pressures out these side lanes.
From the start of the game, we saw so much attention brought up to the top side of the map to help Jack Attack get ahead. They need to start using that. I mean, a lot of the gold was picked up by Rin Toyama, but at the same time, Jack Attack got to sit in his lane happy with a big lane advantage and hasn't been able to use that. He's got 2 items now, can duel very well, but what's it getting 2Easy?
I feel like what might be kind of going on here, I spoke about this in the pre-game, is 2Easy. They will have gone away and figured out how to beat this style of team fighting out of Tigereye. Not necessarily the whole style of play here. So they're kind of sitting here going, okay, when are Tigereye going to fight us? Like, that's what we're built to counter. Tigereye know that as well, though. So they're just going to wait. They can just outscale 2Easy.
And they do have the wave clear to do that as well with the Sivir. You've also got Gangplank ultimate in emergencies if you really need to keep a tower alive. But before we talk about towers anymore, 40 seconds until that dragon spawns, and we see 2Easy are moving as a unit. They've got Jack Attack up on the top lane.
They're trying to set this up.
Teleport down. His rage bar is almost full. Control of this is going to be crucial.
The only thing is, again, Rare Fiction is pressuring a side lane, and he's gone opposite to Jack Attack here. Jack Attack, he's never getting close to that top side turret. by the time this dragon is up. So he's not even going to be able to force Rare Fiction up there. Even if he did, Rare Fiction has the ultimate to throw down and then the teleport to follow up. So actually, Too Easy can't really go for this dragon here. And Tigereye are about to get vision control over.
Oh, Blinky, that is brave. That's 3 members of the enemy team.
Oh,
But you've got a buddy
they're
backing you
forced
up.
to commit Jack Attack to it, but they've already got him to OK Tiger. Nice pathing by Rintoyama. Bone me with the kickbacks. It keeps them safe as the Chaos Storm is now just going wide. They will be able to get onto this dragon, it's looking like, because the Gangplank ultimate was thrown out. But the Gangplank, actually, he recalled. He's not going to be able to get into this fight by the time the dragon's gone down. And actually, Tigereye, that could cost them, and it could cost them this whole dragon. Oh, it's reset. They will still secure it. But unfortunately, Rare Fiction not being there means that great pathing by Rintoyama to catch OK Tiger does secure Too Easy the dragon. And so I was just saying, Too Easy, I feel like they're prepared against these team fights from Tigereye. Well, finally, they got the chance to show that.
And speaking of team fights as well, now that they've picked up 2 Infernal Drakes, if it ever comes to just a flat-on 5v5, they'll win with the superior damage as well, especially if Jack Attack's able to get a massive Gnar. Now look at the rotations coming around from them, all still moving as a 4-man unit. Jack Attack slowly behind them. This wave is pushing into the turret.
This is good play.
I feel like if they keep control of the jungle vision, they could maybe come in from the side, but they're not even worried about that. Jack Attack has got Guardian in.
They actually, you're right, they actually didn't drop wards as they went through there. They need to be kind of careful with sieging this up, but they are getting the damage on, going to be forced to back away, at least for now. But that's good chip damage they've put on that turret, and just a straight out rotation. It is a shame they didn't get the vision down, but if Tigereye look for this team fight here, I actually don't know if they can win it because of that double Infernal Drake.
And that's still playing into what Too Easy wants to happen.
That was the disengage.
There's the disengage. The Frozen Fist alone was enough to slow them down, even with the threat. In fact, OK Tiger actually used On the Hunt there, and they were still too slow to catch up.
It was really nice there by Too Easy. Really cute movement there. It feels like Tigereye have been given windows to get back in this game. I feel like Too Easy didn't make the most of their early advantage, but they're proving here that that's not going to cost them the game, because now they're in a place where they can execute what I feel was the strategy they went away and planned for this matchup. If they can continue this, I feel like they can just outmaneuver Tigereye when these fights happen, and I don't think Tigereye can win without fighting here.
The thing is, Too Easy, the last 2 objectives they've gone for have been literally just sitting there, forcing Tigereye a little bit further away from them, and then just taking them, saying, you know what, look, you want to defend this objective, you want to take this dragon, come at us. You have to fight us. And then they run away. And that's exactly what we saw in the top lane, around the dragon, and dare I say it, we're going to see it again.
The funny thing is, right, that actually worked for Tigereye the first time. It went in their favor. We saw in that very first dragon, they muscled off Too Easy and then took the dragon. But they can't do that anymore because of the items that Blinky and Jack Attack have built up. So it worked for Tigereye before, which is why I think they keep trying to go for it again. Like I said, they can't even win this without fighting, so they kind of have to do that, and it's going to play into Too Easy's hand.
One way they can win through fighting, though, is getting Artifernes into that back line, behind the Gnar as well. And now with Ghost and Flash available, he can actually do that. But look at the pathing and the vision coming out from Too Easy as well. They're going from mid to top. They're dropping vision as they go down. This turret is low.
Yeah, they're looking to just straight out rotate. And with Bomi miles away, it's not like they can catch a pick on Too Easy in rotation. So Too Easy are getting all the time in the world to set up either the siege in top or mid. This is exactly what favors them. And if Tigereye try and stop the siege by fighting, Too Easy will back away.
And just look at the difference in the trinkets as well. Way more red trinkets coming out for Too Easy. But here's the siege.
Yeah, quick rotation straight onto the siege. This is going to force either a fight or a Gangplank ultimate, but also keeping Archael up. So once that gets forced out, once those ultimates get forced out, Too Easy will back away and rotate top. This is masterful here. There's nothing Tigereye can do about this unless Too Easy make a mistake. And it doesn't look like they're set to, because now they're rotating back to the top turret.
And Archael, he's already got a lot of damage. Rare Fiction,
though! Rare Fiction didn't see it coming. He didn't realize that this is what Too Easy were doing. And it seems so obvious to us when we've got all this vision, but he did not pay for it with his life. Jack Attack was even keeping pressure in mid lane. A great out rotation by Too Easy, and now they're going to path into a Baron.
And they denied so much of that vision in the jungle as well. I was talking about it before. Their red trinkets compared to just a single one coming up from Vola. This Baron is completely unseen right now.
And they can't go close either, because look, they're going to get pincered in by Jack Attack. Look at how this is on the minimap, and he's in Mega Form as well. This Baron's going to get picked up. Even if they kill Jack Attack, there's not a big pickup here. He doesn't have the ultimate. He's got Guardian Angel as well, so he's not even going to die. And he's still able to get out. Too Easy. Just get it all totally uncontested, because they totally outmaneuvered Tigereye. This is them cracking how Tigereye play.
And we talk so highly of the shot calling coming out from a lot of players in the tournament so far. Brawler, one of the most highly respected shot callers in the NZGC. But just clear, crisp, calculated calls coming out from Too Easy today shows that they're able to outmaneuver one of the best teams in the NZGC.
Yeah, it's funny, like I said, they didn't use their early thing to, snowball into a lead. And I feel like, honestly, they still could have. That would have been a way for them to win. But they're showing us it wasn't the only way to win. Too Easy. They might not have executed all that, pardon me, but they are executing on the plan that they did bring in, and that's just as good. They've now re-evened up the gold lead, and they are looking to be the ones with all of the control. Look at how bright red that map is.
Yeah, dropping wards all across Summoner's Rift.
As
right
I
now.
say that, there's a ton of blue balls in the top side jungle. That's going to get cleared out any second now. Once this turret has gone down, that's really, that's the last time I feel Tigereye are going to have any wards in that top side.
And they're trying to put a time limit on Too Easy right now, sending Ray Fiction into the top lane. He's got teleport, he's got his ultimate, but look,
it's
they're
not
holding
enough.
it too long. This turret's gonna fall.
It's not enough, even by sitting up there. Even if he gets the turret, which I'll be honest, he probably won't because Jack Attack is teleport and there's these fast recalls. Even by doing this, it's not an answer. If it pulls someone up, well, I don't know. I think, okay, good, nice pickup, but Too Easy is still in control here.
It is still pretty good though because it did bring up Arcale, and with 15 seconds to go until Elder Dragon spawns, this could be a fight that Tigereye are looking to force. Rare Fiction, he can still continue to pressure up in the top side of the map, drawing as many people as he can. He can throw down the cannon barrage. He's got teleports to come in, but again, it's so hard to engage against the Too Easy composition.
Yeah, the only thing is, Jack Attack is the one they really need to send to wherever Rare Fiction goes. And that's kind of difficult to do because Rare Fiction won't show himself for quite a long time. And that means it's a little bit difficult for Too Easy to kind of get one step ahead of that one. They had to play a bit more reactively than I think they'd like, but they could also just go and muscle out with the advantage they've got, go for a fight, go for a setup here, and do the same thing they've done the whole game long, force Tigereye to fight and then disengage.
And Tigereye really can't afford to just let this go away for free. It does take a while to take down the Elder Dragon, but they've got 2 Infernal Drakes right now. If they pick this up, that's going to boost that even further. They're going to have the Elder Dragon buff itself, and they're already winning team
They
fights.
can't even get in position for this. The wards are there. They weren't even looking like they were ready to collapse. Rare Fiction backed. Artiferns was just sitting in the mid lane, and they gave up the Elder Drake. And now, they're not even healed here for the fight. Bomi takes chunks. They throw out the Gangplank ultimate and the Nami just for disengage. But even with those down and this dragon up, they're going to have to seed turrets. They've got no more way to clear waves. Now, they tried to do a bit of groundwork by clearing out waves in advance, but those are going to get pushed down pretty quick, Smart, and already Jack Attack's positioning to take the bottom turret.
Well, he's going to have to go up against quite a lot of members here to do so. He has picked up Executioner's Calling as well, and now that he's actually participating in the team fights, that's going to cut down Artifern's self-healing, which is one of the biggest reasons he's able to jump straight into the back line. Now, every summoner spell is up for Tigereye. They can look to leverage that in the team fight. The Cannon Barrage is still miles away. On the hunt is still not up.
Okay, Tiger took chunks. He has a lot of their wave clear. They're only just starting to get onto this turret, but Rin Toyama is doing work off to the side while this is all happening. Like I said, they blew a lot of cooldowns just to disengage from the last fight. A couple of them are going to come back up here, but this is still Too Easy with all the precedence. Even if they don't get turrets here, they can go back a bit later and do it all again with more gold in the pocket.
And an interesting interaction with the Elder Dragon buff as well. They've got a fair amount of poke from the Ezreal, even from the Rek'Sai, throwing on that burn into the enemy team underneath their own towers. They can pressure it out even more just to get those objectives. Now, Jack Attack, he's still got teleport, but...
No, I think he's going to get out now. He's going to get out. Jack Attack is just going up to sort of set up the long game. Unfortunately, by the time he set that up, the Elder Dragon buff will have run out, is the word I'm looking for, but that doesn't really matter because Too Easy would be doing this without the Dragon buff if it hadn't have happened to spawn at that time. So Jack Attack going for a slow setup on the top side while Blinky keeps the pressure on elsewhere.
So all that said and done, Too Easy not able to pull off a huge advantage with this Elder Dragon buff, which is about to run out, like you said.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they didn't need to. I feel like part of it was also just denying it. Like, it just happened to be up, and you're silly not to take it if you can that easily. They didn't need to use it, like I said before, to leverage more out, because they could just do that with the natural strength of their team top anyway.
Now, Too Easy are still looking at a 40-minute game very soon, as they're looking into the jaws of a Vladimir, a Gangplank, well, at least then that's not so scary later on, but the other two are terrifying this late into the game right now. Luckily, they do have the disengage tools to make sure they never get touched by them, but if they slip up for even a second and have Artiferns with his Ghost and Flash straight into the back line. That's going to be where the danger comes.
You make a good point about that. Lee Sin, actually, he has 4 of the team's 6 kills. Now, 2 of them are on Rare Fiction and Artiferns, who are the potential late-game carries for this Tigereye squad, but they need more kills being on them at this point. Bomi having those kills just doesn't help this team a whole lot, and because he wasn't able to do enough in the earlier parts of the game with those, it's making it that much harder for Tigereye.
Tigereye, they're doing what they can to hold on. They are doing so, I mean, like we said about 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes even, too easy. They don't have very many engagement tools, especially when Jack Attack is off split pushing. They rely almost entirely on Rin Toyama to go in with a tunnel and then a flash, even to get a knock up. So unless they're willing to commit very heavily, they're not going for any dives just yet. They need to go for the surprise or just flat out dive. And this could be the surprise here. They've got a good position.
Yeah, Bomi's got in to try and thread the needle and find something, but he's going to be the one to get found. He does get Blinky over the wall, but Blinky's able to get right back now. Artifan's a bit deep, committing the teleport from Rare Fiction, but Artifan's already quite low. Bomi forced to back out. Rin Toyama's keeping OK Tiger busy. That means he's not dealing any damage. And now the rest of the carries are starting to deal damage back to Rare Fiction. OK Tiger goes down as Jack Attack finds him, and he's about to go Mega. And Trinity's not even Mega yet. Now he finds it, scoops the Gnar. Rare Fiction drops, and this is going to be it. This is what Too Easy wanted to do. I was about to say, Tigereye, they can't fight because they're not strong enough, and even if they did fight, it plays right into Too Easy's hand. That is what you just saw on your screens, and now Too Easy look poised to win.
And not a single Guardian Angel popped either by Jack Attack or Rin Toyama. They ripped down the inhibitor turret. It's 41 minutes into the game, 40 seconds until Rare Fiction's up. The soonest respawn is OK Tiger in 30 seconds. These Nexus turrets are not going to stand.
Yeah, not at all. And Artiferns, he deals damage, but it's not going to be enough. Rin Toyama's even having to take out one of those turrets. Oh, Jack Attack's getting low. They actually kind of want Guardian Angels to pop as quick as possible. Actually, they're just going to leave Jack Attack out to dry. Maybe they don't want to finish it out now. They're giving a lot of respect to what this Tigereye team comp can still do. And I do agree with that. There's no point to risk it all here when they are winning, and they will still win if they just play it slow and steady.
Old mate Baron Nashor is now live, but let's talk about the replay.
Yeah.
How did that team fight happen?
This was Bomi honestly going in looking for the pick. Like I said, found Blinky here, but Blinky could just get straight back. Bomi had already done everything Elimination could do in this fight, and it wasn't enough. Now he was forced back. Artiferns couldn't do enough either, and Rin took so many people's time.
Yeah, and honestly, Artiferns didn't get the job done in the back line. I feel like that was the main point of the story. But in any case, we come back out of the replay, and who's got the Baron? It's
What a
Too
shot.
Easy.
Yeah.
What a surprise. Look at that gold lead. 7,000. Not huge when you're 42 minutes into the game.
RKL did drop off the back of that, which does mean there is a brief window where Too Easy can do nothing. That being said, Tigereye probably can't find anything during that time. So Too Easy, it sucks to lose someone, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the beginning of a turnaround for Tigereye. They needed a lot more than that.
Now they're going to wait for him to respawn up, and the story is the same thing for Too Easy. All their strengths are in that disengage. They need to leverage it now with the Baron buff by split pushing with Gnar, despite not having teleport up. When they're going to be split pushing, it's going to be right up against the base, so it's very possible he can just wander over and participate in the team fight anyway, but it's drawing the attention over there because the disengage is where Too Easy need to win these fights.
Yeah, wow, look at that. Rare Fiction taking chunks to try and put chunks down, doesn't get any. This is without their predominant wave clear out of RKL's Victor. They're still holding up against this siege. And it's not like Tigereye are much of a siege comp either, let's be honest. I mean, the Gangplank provides something, but it's not a lot. And now Too Easy back on the front foot with RKL alive, with the Baron buff. One inhibitor turret gone. They're going to start pushing up these side waves and starting to pressure in for the win.
And they do have a little bit more pushing power now that RKL does have that Lich Bane as well. We'll be able to tag them down. It's a bit dangerous to get in there, but with a front line like Jack Attack and Rin Toyama, you do have the safety to occasionally go in for one of those auto attacks. The other thing is Rin Toyama can split push because he's got the Void Rush ultimate.
Yeah, man, it was so satisfying to see him clear up that minion wave. It was just like all of them just, oh, nice one. And now Jack Attack, he's going to do that on the top side. And like you mentioned, Rin Toyama, he's the one with the global pressure. Well, so is Jack Attack. He doesn't have the teleport just yet, but he will soon enough. And in any case, if he gets close enough to this base, he's not even going to need the teleport. He'll just be able to rotate to wherever the fight is.
Too Easy are taking this very slow, very steady. They don't want to lose this out. Remember, this is the one of the most important best of threes. It's only game one, so they can afford to lose, but no one wants to do that.
Yeah, and this is also what Tigereye beats them with twice, right? So even if they prove that they can beat it, they actually still need to beat it, which is why they're being cautious here. Now, Bomi throwing caution to the wind as he looks to go in. He don't only look for Rintoyama, though, and Blinky, he's still sitting untouched. The Gangplank ultimate isn't even doing much damage to him. And again, Rintoyama is wasting people's time as Jack Attack looks to come in from the side. About to go Mega as well. Big cooldown's gone. No chance for Tigereye to engage. And now look at this. Rintoyama's going to back. He's going to Void Rush back in, and then they're going to look to siege the turret.
At the same time, though, we still don't see very much engaged potential coming out from Too Easy. They need to commit a flash from Rintoyama or Jack Attack just go straight
either
in,
or.
but Mega Gnar is gone.
It's just been used up, unfortunately, but Artiferns, Artiferns missteps! That's going to be it! And now the Prime Ultimate. This is now the comfortable diving because there's no Artiferns to just tank up the rest of the dive. They're going to get a bit of damage onto the turret. They didn't actually quite commit to the fight. Maybe a little bit overcautious there, given that they had Guardian Angels on Rin and Kale, but no Mega Nas. They're going to bide their time for the next wave.
And with the numbers advantage and super minions pushing down the mid lane, they just have to bide their time right now, but they don't even want to do that.
Yeah, so it's already Bomi going in with the kick to try and stop the dive and engage, but it's not enough because it's a 4v5. Rin is having to take the damage still as the Guardian Angel that has not been popped, and the entire Tigereye lineup back away from the turret. Brawler dropping on the side. Cupcake actually needs to get out of here. Okay, Tiger drops. Last Nexus turret, and now they have done it. Too easy. They have figured out Tigereye. They know how to beat what beat them, and it is all, can Tigereye pull it back?
And Too Easy picked a strategy. They went with it. They went with it for about 45 minutes, which, by the way, much longer than the average win times for the teams in the NZGC so far, showing the even amount of competition between these two teams, despite Too Easy honestly playing it safe, playing it slowly, and managing to pull out a win.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't even call that super even. I mean, it looked really even by a lot of the metrics, by a lot of the measures, and because it was a long game, it feels that way. But I feel like it was just long because Too Easy were playing cautious, and they were right to. Their team comp won naturally, assuming Tigereye played the way they did previously against Too Easy. And then, of course, Tigereye did. So like I said before, it's now on Tigereye to prove that they can play in other ways and well enough to beat Too Easy. But, big but, I said this right at the top of Champions Select, that was game one. Tigereye could afford to just try and win with what had previously worked before pulling out alternate strategies. I guarantee we're going to see alternate strategies the next game.
You don't make it this far in the NZGC without having more than one strategy, right? So, of course, Tigereye, they're going to pull it out in the next game. They have to win 2 in a row to survive now.
Yeah.
And Too Easy, they're sitting nice and pretty, have the flexibility to lose another game. The comfort.
Well, I don't think you're wrong because now Tigereye, they can come back with another strategy, but Too Easy have also proved they can figure out Tigereye strategies. If they can do it once, albeit it was with about a week's gap to figure it out, but if they can do it once, they can possibly do it again. Even if they drop game 2, there's a chance they could still beat that strategy in game 3. All this and more, though. We're talking very airy-fairy about the future, but we are not clairvoyants. We can only know the future by getting to it, and to get us one step closer, we're going to take a quick break, then come back in to the all-important game 2. Don't go anywhere.
Every challenge is a call to play smarter, to push further, to be better. That's why we put every aspect of gaming under the microscope. We are Logitech G. Gaming is our passion. Winning is our pursuit. Science is our method.
Welcome back to the Hexadome once again, one more time. This is actually the last time you're going to get the two of us just standing here, sitting pretty in the Hexadome. Yeah, from here on out, it is all full-on big top production because, of course, next Wednesday we've got the teams in here. And we get shuffled off to another room.
You got tall people in here.
Yeah, we get
instead.
tall people. I know. Like they throw us shorties off into a different room, and then of course the week after that we're live in Motat. So hey, enjoy this one while it lasts, guys. And I am certainly enjoying it. Too easy. They look like the better team insofar as they've figured out how Tigereye play, but Tigereye aren't idiots. I want to see what strategy they pull out next.
Tigereye, they played the laning pretty well during that first game. Of course, they suffered a little bit with the gangplank getting camped, but they managed to start matching it once they noticed what happened. So it felt like Tigereye were just a step behind for most of the game. If they can just bring that foot up, put it forward one step, then they can actually...
And just coming forward, yeah.
They can actually start winning the next game. Now, I mean, I talk about one step behind the whole game. That sounds like a very bad thing, but it's a very small step, and I feel like if there's a team to do it, it's Tigereye, and like you said, their one strategy that we've seen so far has been taken down. They've got to have more.
Well, even then, there is actually something I kind of want to touch on, and it was something I was talking about in that game as well. I felt like Too Easy dropped the ball for a significant portion of that game. And looking back, it's because they didn't need to be proactive at that point to win. They had the way they were planning on winning. But Tigereye could have taken advantage of Too Easy's lack of proactivity. I think they didn't because they kept expecting Too Easy to be proactive. But it just goes to show that Too Easy are a little bit maybe one track with their strategies and not super flexible. That could be Tigereye's window in here. Again, though, a lot of airy-fairy, vague things here. And I want to get right into solids. And the one thing that is super solid about these teams is their lineups. Let's take a look at that first before we jump into pick and ban again.
Yep, so we saw the teams earlier on. They were...
Yeah, we'll see them again. Here we go.
Here we go. He got it in the end. Tigereye taking on Too Easy. That's our matchup tonight. We saw Too Easy taking out a victory first. But who are they up against? It's Tigereye. Let's have a look at them. It's Rare Fiction in the top lane. Bomi will be in the jungle. Artiferns in the mid lane. And OK Tiger and Brawler will be your AD carry and support.
And of course, coming up against them is going to be Too Easy Gaming, a team has come into tonight with a lot to prove and so far started to prove it. Jack Attack up in the top lane, a good Nah game last game. Rin Toyama in the jungle, RKL in mid, and of course Blinky and Cupcake, their superstar bottom lane. And I'm really excited to see if they can just close it out in a 2-0. But I don't expect that that'll happen. I think we're going to a game 3 no matter how we slice it. The question is, how will that game 3 go?
I mean, that's a prediction that you're saying Too Easy going to lose here. That's bold.
Yeah, bold indeed. But Tigereye are a good team. Tigereye are a good team who have beaten Too Easy before, and there's no way they've come into tonight with one strategy. They're not going to pull the same thing again because it just didn't work in that last game. In fact, I don't think they'll pull it out for the rest of the series at all. Let's see what they do pull out here, though, as we come into pick and ban.
Yeah, so a lot of the bans are staying the same. You've got Jin being taken away from OK Tiger, Trundle taken away from Jack Attack, both having the favorite champions taken away.
Yeah, well, it's that same thing. It's just eliminating some of that ground control that Tigereye favor, especially with the Jin on. And then the safety, the anti-dive they always have in the Tahm Kench. So they're just keeping that off the board in case Tigereye do go for that, because those two things weave into other comps aside from just that mid-ground control.
Yeah, and of course, so far, 4 out of the 6 bans stay the same, like you said. Now, a lot of it is targeted around the bottom side of the map. 1 ban towards the top lane, and
Aurelion
there is
Sol.
Aurelion Sol going to be taken away.
Yeah, Aurelion Sol being banned out. And again, that's exactly what has worked for Tigereye in the past. Specifically, that's exactly what worked for them, I believe, on Red side. Not in this game, but I believe it's worked. I can't remember what game they played, but I'm pretty sure they won with that Aurelion Sol Red side. So, Too Easy taking that one off the board. I don't think they're expecting that Tigereye will play that comp that they just lost with. But in case they do, they're still taking away its most powerful tool. So I do like this.
Yeah, and being on red side, the ban is going to actually be Nah. And taking it away from Jack Attack smart. And generally, you don't want to try and first pick it away in a rotation out.
But
what slips through?
Yep, Nidalee gets straight on through, hands that over to Rin Toyama. Bomi likes that as well. Bomi is quite happy to take the Lee Sin instead, I'll be honest. But yeah, giving Rin Toyama his Nidalee just shows how much they don't want Jack Attack on that Nah. Also with Trundle away from him, and now picking the Maokai away because they knew the Nidalee would go over. They've kind of thinned out Jack Attack's champion pool. He'll still be able to pull something out, but they've thinned it out, which means they limit how Too Easy can respond to whatever Tigereye pull out.
For all the thinning out you're doing, though, you're still blind picking Maokai into the top lane. Maokai's a champion that can survive even against some of the rough matchups, but a champion that's been seeing just a little bit of play, particularly even in Worlds, is Rumble, a champion that is great at pressuring melee champions. Maokai being one of those. Maokai will benefit with his passive against the spam of spells coming up from Rumble, but at the same time, still a melee champion, still has to get close to get that CS unless he wants to use his sapling and blow mana. Rumble will punish that, and it could be an option coming up from Jack Attack.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is now Too Easy can just pick that way later down the line if they want. I think they should actually pick it now, just so that they have options for what else they pick. And I was about to say, for their bottom lane, I want to see them take the Nami again for the exact same reason as last time, the disengage. Like I said, I don't think we're going to see the same thing out of Tigereye, but in case they do, just the Nami alone I think gives them enough tools to have the disengage. I like that they've taken that, and now they're picking up the Sivir as well for the heavy rotations. I think we're just going to see a much more aggressive version of what Too Easy did last game.
Yeah, we're seeing a very similar composition, but very mobile composition coming out from Too Easy. They also are kind of squishy, because your support and your jungler are already not very tanky, right? So you're almost forced to pick something tanky in the top lane, or maybe a Lissandra in the mid lane, which, by the way, it's been open, has been one of the strong picks so far in the tournament, so I'd like to see if maybe that's considered as well. But again, you need to pick up a tank for this lineup.
Yeah, the other thing I want to mention though here is Tigereye leaving their mid open as their last pick. I like that, but I'm afraid that they're going to try and use the same strategy by picking the Vlad, and they want to try and get that in a counter pick, which means they may be trying to force Too Easy into the Vlad. I don't know how I feel about all this. It is going to be the Victor picked up, so I don't think they should pick Vlad. I don't think they should have picked it anyway. This is going to ensure that they don't. I'm now curious to see what Tigereye do pick up, because they need something that rounds this out, because right now this is looking too much like what just lost.
And, well, the tank that got picked up is going to be Poppy in the top lane, but, well, not a tank at all. And that mid lane pick...
Artiferns, Yasuo's.
Took a deep breath.
Yasuo's Artiferns. Artiferns is Yasuo. Artiferns is Yasuo. It's absolutely phenomenal. Again, it's something we've seen pull out phenomenal wins all throughout. We saw it earlier in this tournament, and we actually saw it in another tournament that Artiferns recently played in. That's all I'll say about that. He is really good on this champion, and this is the other reason you'd hold it to a last pick. And I'll be honest, I totally forgot about the Yasuo, and I feel like an idiot for harping on about Vlad.
At the same time, though, teams have not prioritized banning Yasuo out against Artiferns. More target banning against the top laner, against... I mean, the only target ban you're seeing right now is Aurelion Sol against him, but teams are more interested in banning out Brawler, banning out OK Tiger. We'll see if Artiferns can live up to his Yasuo carry legend, because, of course, it's a very risky play moving into that. You've already got a front line, you're now the backline damage dealer.
That they do, and kind of a scary one at that. But Jack Attack has taken Poppy. And we didn't touch on it at all when it got picked in, right? We talked about Jack Attack, how his champion pool might be thinner. My first thought was that he might go for a Shen, and you identified the potential for the Rumble. But the other thing we've started to see a lot of, both in this, earlier we saw, just last Wednesday actually, we saw Raven picking it up, playing it very, very well. And we're also seeing it a lot at Worlds right now. And the reason I like it is because it is disengage and engage and a lot of tankiness. It's exactly what it's exactly what Jack Attack likes bringing to the table. And because I mentioned Artiferns, it's exactly what they want to use for Artiferns to, against Artiferns rather, to knock him out of those fights when he goes in the back line.
Yeah, of course. Gonna have to watch out for the wind wall, because you do not want the Poppy ultimate blocked out by that. But the thing about Poppy is that you can build that champion in very different ways, depending on what you want to do. Disengage, just build up quite tanky with a lot of mobility, although you can also go the line where you dive into the back line of the enemy team. And this is one of my favorite builds as well, where you pick up things like the Iceborne Gauntlet, and then just full tank after that, so you can get right into the back line, permanently slow them, while the rest of your team is dealing damage, while Tigereye is dealing with you.
Yeah, all options for them. And I'll be honest, the reason I was looking down is because I was expecting that we'd have a segment, but we don't, which means we get plenty of time to break down what we're going to see out of these teams. And I'm glad as hell, because there's so much to talk about, right? The key thing I want to touch on is I was so worried Tigereye would go for the same strategy. They haven't. This is Tigereye's other strategy. Have Too Easy cracked this one? My prediction is no, but how would they counter out how Tigereye want to play here? What is the win condition for Too Easy given Tigereye, especially with that Yasuo?
So Too Easy have picked basically a very similar composition to what they played in Game 1, where they won. A lot of disengage is there. You've got also now in Italy, an even more mobile jungler than before. You've got the Victor again to throw down any control in the path of the team following you. On the flip side though, this time, you've got Engage, you've got Poppy, you've got the Nami as well if you're able to catch out, but the strongest thing has got to be that Poppy, right? With the teleport flank, throwing someone out of the team fight at the start of the fight, and then following that up with the on the hunt means you can now pursue the enemy team and catch them out.
The other thing I want to talk about as well is Maokai and Poppy are both going to swap places in team fights. They're going to go after each other's backlines. Now, Maokai keeps people busy by keeping people busy, by absorbing as much damage as possible until he dies. Poppy does do that, but can straight up give you a numerical advantage by knocking someone out of the fight. And if it's a backliner, hey, even better. Alternatively, the Poppy can kind of stick with her team's backline, knock Artiferns out, give the team plenty of time to deal the damage to the Maokai. And the other thing is Poppy will be dealing damage that whole time. I expect we're going to see Poppy going predominantly after the Ezreal and Karma, and I would expect mostly the Karma because she's a bit less escapable, but in any case, I feel like that gives 2easy all the flexibility they need to deal with the Yasuo. The question will be whether mechanically they actually do, and the reason I bring that up is because I think they need to shut down the Yasuo early, and Nidalee isn't the best champion for doing that. How do they do it without her? Well, I guess with her, but given her weakness.
You've got to flank from different directions, right? Because of course, wind wall, yeah, those are different directions,
All
right?
kinds, yeah.
Yes. The wind wall, it can only block projectiles from one direction, and your main source of engage coming up from a Nidalee to go for ganks, if you're talking about early lane, is, well, the spear. One wind wall blocks that, stops the gank entirely. You've got Victor, who doesn't have a lot of great crowd control from the start. If he's already crowd controlled, then that's great. Nidalee doesn't bring that though, so you're going to have to really place the gravity field smartly in the path of the Yasuo. So Artiferns, he's got a lot of tools, but if he's being flanked from two sides, then he's going to have to choose a direction to go. Does he run into the gravity field? Does he run into the Nidalee spear? And where does he put the wind wall? So that's the way you counter out the Yasuo early on. I still think it's a very tough ask.
Oh yeah, and Artiferns is a fantastic Yasuo, as we have said, and we're going to hit the rift to answer all these questions and more for Game 2 here. Is it going to be the close out for 2easy? Have they figured it out? Have they learned what Tigereye do? Or will Tigereye come back swinging in Game 2 to even up the series and threaten 2easy with the loss?
Well, last time we saw these two Titans clash was in the Hexadome, and they brought it to a third game. Again, would not be surprised if that does happen once more. But like you said, we're hitting the rift once again, and it's on Tigereye to win 2 games in a row to keep their journey alive in the NZGC.
And quite defensive starts from both, all to be expected, of course. Something I want to touch on, because we spoke a lot about Rin Toyama, what he can do, how he can do it, how he might struggle to shut down Artiferns. Never mind all this. I'm going to touch on this later because Cupcake's going to get spotted here. Okay, Tiger can throw out the damage. He's going to take a lot for this because of how deep he pathed, how long it took him to realize what was going on. Has he stayed too long?
The heel, mate!
Oh, he tried to oh my goodness! He tried to dish too much damage back and it's going to cost him. Artiferns is roaming down, but without Blinky able to stay in the fight. Oh, wow. What a sick start for Tigereye already. Cupcake just completely dropping the ball on that pathing.
Wow, and that's actually going to be the sum of the spells down for almost the entirety of the bottom lane for 2easy. Not a great start, especially against Ezreal Karma, who can put out so much poke damage, take advantage of the fact that Blinky's in lane at not full health either. Let's take a replay of it to see what happens.
This is so nuts.
This is actually, look at OK Tiger. He doesn't notice for a few seconds. Like, hey.
Yeah. But then, because of how he has to path to get back to safety, he ends up taking damage. Like I said, he tried to trade back onto OK Tiger. I'll be honest, against Karma Ezreal, that's just not one you're going to win early when your Nami is only level 1.
So, let's move back into the game with a 1-kill advantage. It did go over to Brawler, though. He hasn't had a chance to recall just yet.
Now that Cupcake is back in lane, he's able to heal up Blinky, and actually Tigereye the one's looking worse for wear.
Yeah, just a little bit. In fact, actually, wow.
Yeah, actually a lot.
OK Tiger is dropping quite a lot, and because the Karma is not level 2 yet, the shield wasn't there just yet. But honestly, take a look at the sum of the spells down. Blinky, no flash, no heal. That's a jungler's dream.
Yeah, we were talking about how it might be a little bit difficult for Rin Toyama to gank this mid lane. He could definitely gank this bottom lane. I mean, I know you touched on Blinky, but if you look at OK Tiger and Brawler, they're the ones who
wow.
they've actually used up more. The only thing they have left is the heal. So OK Tiger, he will still have a blink, but he's already taken chunks just to stay even in CS. Rin Toyama, he needs to start pathing down here as quickly as possible, and I think that might even mean skipping red.
Yeah, gonna have to change up your jungle path quite a lot, but he's already doing red. That's pretty rude to ask him to stop it now. But the fact is, they haven't gone back and spent their gold yet, so the only advantage they got out of that kill in the early game that we're gonna see right away is actually the fact that they've got a little bit of an experience lead. And Cupcake and Blinky, they're matching their level too.
That they are holding even, and it's all because Cupcake, despite dying, was actually able to come back into lane. And the funny thing with that early kill is that's not exactly gold that's been spent yet, so all it was OK Tiger and Brawler getting low in health. It's starting to cost them because Cupcake is starting to out-sustain. And I want to draw attention up to this jungle here because Rin Toyama has just backed because that, oh wow. We'll touch on that in a moment. Rin Toyama just backed because suddenly with that health advantage, Blinky and Cupcake were able to push, and actually there was no gank available now.
Yeah, but talking about that, look at old mate Bomi. He's coming down, and that's an out-of-mana Blinky as well.
And this is not going to get spotted as well. He's pathing well, and Bomi gets spotted until he arrives in lane and gets hit by the turret. Cupcake already taken chunks. Bomi knows what's for dinner. It's fried fish. Cupcake tried to bubble and kill OK Tiger. Actually, Bomi holding tight as well to make sure OK Tiger gets the kill. Still hasn't been turned into gold, but that is a good move given that this lane was starting to get bullied. OK Tiger will also have to back, which means he will get to spend his gold.
And what are Too Easy going to take away from this? Rin Toyama, he's pathing up at the top side of the map, but how are you going to gank Rare Fiction right now? Yes, Jack Attack, great top laner, but Rin Toyama, all he's getting out of this is stealing some cruds.
Yeah, like you said, how do you even gank Jack Attack? Sorry, Rare Fiction, especially as Jack Attack is getting low. We saw Jack Attack bullying out Rare Fiction early, but the later this goes on, the less likely it is that Rare Fiction really gets bullied out, at least until Jack Attack's had the opportunity to buy some items. That will be his opportunity to do that now, and but me, at the very least, Rin Toyama has been able to get some vision down.
Now, one thing about this bottom lane as well is, with their advantage, they've now got a kill each on the AD carry and the support. All it means now, though, is that OK Tiger picks up his Tears of the Goddess. It's always comfortable for an Ezreal to pick that up as early as possible, but at the same time, it's not combat stats. So Blinky's going to be able to still match him in lane. In terms of gold, experience might tell a different story, but at the same time, there is the opportunity for them to come back in trades.
Okay, so Rare Fiction just backed. This is huge. He's about to lose a little bit of CS for sure. Jack Attack as well is going to be able to keep up the pressure. Rare Fiction backed so that he could pick up an item. He's the red gem. I buy it all the time. Ruby Crystal. I knew it was Ruby something. I was thinking Ruby Sightstone. But he's got that, which is an important thing for him to get. But he cedes control over the river for that. Now, we just went, how do you gank Rare Fiction? Well, actually, this is how. And it's all about slow setup. The thing we need to see now is Rin Toyama path back up to the top side.
Well, if he's going to take advantage of the top lane, it's going to be able to do that. But at the same time, Rare Fiction was given the opportunity to drop his own pink ward in that tri-bush, going to keep his vision up there. And Rin Toyama, he's paying a lot of attention to the bottom side of the map, but now moving to the mid lane as well. He's got a good flank potential, but Arkel, he's just not there. Had to back to get mana.
Yeah, Brawler looking to go aggressive on Blinky. They're going to land a little bit of damage. Nice spell shield to stop up one part, but he still takes some chunks. They're going to be fine though, the sustain is still there. We're not going to see much out of this lane for a while, I expect, even though OK Tiger and Brawler have a little bit of a lead in terms of those kills. It's something that'll come into play later in the game, right? Because that's what Ezreal is. He can build aggressively, but you can bet he's going to build that more slow, steady build-up.
And actually seeing the pings out from both teams show that they know where the junglers are. They both are aware, and they're actually on the same side of the map too. So both teams going to be playing a little bit towards that. But honestly, these lane matchups right now are pretty even, apart from the bottom lane with Blinky and Cupcake starting to fall behind. Yeah. Cupcake playing his heart out to try and keep them in there though.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't expect we're going to see much out of this lane for a while, unless the junglers do come in, just because neither side really has enough kill pressure, at least not until Tiger gets more items. But he's on the slow blue build Ezreal path. He'll be huge late game. I guarantee you that much. And he's got the lead to get there as well. So it is all good news. But all this bottom lane needs to do now is just bide their time. So what I really want to see is Tigereye get proactive around Artiferns and get him snowballing to navigate through that mid game.
We talked about how well his Yasuo play was. Getting him snowballing would be pretty crucial. We talked about how Rin Toyama can gank the Yasuo. Well, Bomi, he's at least in. He's had an effect on one lane so far. early game, Lee Sin needs to do a little bit more. And Arcale, he's a little bit immobile on that Victor, so that's definitely a target. But the ping's out on him. They know where he is.
How do you gank Rare Fiction? Well, this is how Rin Toyama flashes just to force Rare Fiction, throws out a spear, but he doesn't even need to connect it. Rare Fiction is forced a long way away. This flash is a lot more crucial than Rare Fiction's, so there's going to be a top lane turret. Bomi needs to find an answer. Maybe he wants to find the dragon.
And it is an Infernal Dragon as well, but the vision isn't over the other side of the wall, so too easy. They're going to be able to have an advantage here. Chaos Storm is available to start throwing it down. Look at the flank patrol, but Artifernes is on his way.
He is on his way. They're not going to be able to contest this. Too easy. Do not have the members. Actually, Rare Fiction teleported in to try and waste time. He took a lot of damage for it. I think maybe he was setting up for a fight, but it's not quite going to work. What does this dragon mean, though, for this team? Because this is their response to that top lane turret. How is this going to work for them later on?
You've got a Lee Sin and a Yasuo. They really want to go into team fights with kills, right? Yasuo scales off that Infernal Dragon so well once he starts picking up damage, and Lee Sin is Lee Sin, right? He executes people so well in the early game, which even with a small boost to it early on, Infernal Drake's still going to help that out.
Now, okay, Tiger and Brawler keeping up the pressure in the bottom lane. Like I said, this is all they really need to do for the time being. Getting a turret is a pretty nice way to leave this lane, and okay, Tiger will take his time to ramp up. Definitely going to get that opportunity now, and Rin Toyama is a long way away from this one, but I feel like he's playing a game of, you know, don't try and help a losing lane, go ahead and snowball a winning one. So Jack Attack, their feeling is their path back into this game.
Well, Jack Attack, he did so well in game one. Definitely a place to put a lot of your resources. Cupcake and Blinky trading back. They're holding on into this lane.
So, returning to lane there, just holding on, and I really feel like that's all they're doing for the time being. I mean, they're 20 CS behind. Like I said, no one's going to get kills here unless someone makes a mistake, or junglers come to this lane, and again, someone makes a mistake. Tigereye just kind of walked away from this one pretty solidly. I kind of want to put some attention onto this mid lane for a while, because Artifernes has slowly started to ramp up.
Yeah, Artifernes actually holding a fairly significant CS lead. He's picked up his Hex Drinker as well, so he's looking to be winning into the lane matchup as well. Blinky on more of a utility AD carry, so the physical damage isn't going to be there as much as other AD carries might be. A huge amount of magic damage, and Artifernes itemizing against that.
This is exactly it. Already going for it. There's the ultimate as well. Arcale will be able to flash for this one, but Artifernes goes under the turret. Makes it look effortless, man. He is low, but there's no junglers really to answer this because Bomi was dealing with Rin Toyama off on the side.
And he did that through an exhaust and through a flash as well. Arcale now is going to be very vulnerable, and that is something that Bomi can absolutely pounce on. With the Dragon's Rage ultimate, that can trigger Artifernes' last breath once it comes up again. Oh, what a block.
Oh, and a kick out as well. Bomi secures that vision. That's really important because it means Rin Toyama can't come in to try and answer this bottom lane. Like I said, I didn't even know if that was going to be enough for Too Easy here to turn this one around. They would need to commit Jack Attack as well, but in any case, now they almost don't have the option at all, and if they do commit all that much, you can guarantee Tigereye will answer by putting the pressure on with Artifernes in the mid lane.
Something that does need to be answered, though, in the top lane is Jack Attack. He's already smashed down one turret in Rare Fiction. He's struggling to stay alive. It is the one lane that Too Easy is ahead in CS, in towers, and it's actually how they're ahead in gold despite a 3-kill deficit.
Yeah, and I spoke about this earlier. All these things are going in favor of Tigereye with Artifernes and OK Tiger, especially if Artifernes can go big and navigate through the mid game. But the potential counter for Too Easy is Jack Attack right now. They need to leverage it. The question is, how do they leverage it? And in fact, who do they focus on first? Do they deal with Artifernes now, or do they deal with OK Tiger first?
Artifernes, he's going to be at his weakest now, probably. OK Tiger, despite having a bit of a slump, you know, still building into his mana minion, hasn't even picked up a Sheen yet. Still in Israel, still quite slippery, still quite hard to catch down. Artifernes, though, his mobility comes from the aggressiveness, but Rare Fiction.
He is getting aggressed upon here. But Jack Attack's out of mana, though, and Bomi's going to come in for the answer. Jack Attack, he's just got over-aggressive here, wasting his entire mana bar with Artifernes roaming up as well. This is how Too Easy lose the one place they had an advantage. They still have a bit of a CS lead there, but him dying means that they just drop the ball. That is over-aggression by Jack Attack.
And Too Easy spent the majority of that roaming up to match it.
Oh, what on earth? Now Rare Fiction is the one who stays too long, getting too sure of himself. Now Rin Toyama's going to be able to muscle out Bomi. He's got a bit of a CS lead himself. I don't know if he can quite go for a dive here. He wants to try it, Bomi, he can do a lot of damage back though. Rin Toyama needs to respect that. Oh, they're making it a slog. Rin Toyama, just barely. He's going to pass right into Artiferns. No, don't clear the Krug. Just get out of there.
Oh no, he had to take it out.
Artiferns. Oh, Rin Toyama did not need to die there.
But in the bottom lane though, Jack Attack did throw a teleport down to help out his bottom lane. But all it did was make them survive.
That's what I said. Maybe they need to commit Rin Toyama and Jack Attack. Now Jack Attack's committed there, while Rin Toyama couldn't. Maybe they get a bit of damage on this turret. I don't even know if it's going to be a whole lot, especially with OK Tiger having ultimate. I feel like Too Easy is starting to drop the macro ball a little bit here. Jack Attack making a slip up by aggressing in the top lane, while Tigereye had the better rotational game to counter that. Followed by this, which is not a move they can get much out of. Feels like Too Easy is slipping behind.
There's not much to say about this. It's just Rin Toyama able to chase his opponents. And Bomi not even trying to dodge the spear most of the time. Well, there was one there.
Remember that kill that Rin Toyama got? Well, here it is again.
And remember how he took a lot of tower damage. Now, actually, key here is that Bomi threw out the resonating strike just too slow. Oh, watch that. There he goes. That's where he gets caught out. But the resonating strike connected before the tower shot did. And resonating strike doing execution damage could have been the difference between a kill or being killed there.
Potentially, yeah. Now Rare Fiction back in lane. Rin Toyama is actually the one hovering around top still because Jack Attack spent a long time bot. But Rare Fiction, he's getting a little bit pinched in here. Bomi is nearby, but Rare Fiction's already taken damage. Rin Toyama's committed, gets kicked out, but Jack Attack's going to go deep on Rare Fiction. It's going to be him versus Rare Fiction while Bomi tries to deal with Rin Toyama. The question is, can Rin Toyama get out? And can Rare Fiction get out? He can't. Jack Attack gets that one, but Artiferns is now dealing with him. Rin Toyama needs to path around to try and help him out. Otherwise, he's in trouble. Artiferns, though, RKL's come back up. Oh no! What? Artiferns! He saw what was happening and went, I'm having none of that. Left Jack Attack, turned it around, dealt with RKL. Now they're going to deal with Jack Attack, dropping him down. And Too Easy. I said a moment ago, it felt like they were slipping behind. Well, this is an avalanche in the making here. Artiferns is getting big, and the one piece of leverage Too Easy had is now off the board.
It's not just Artiferns getting big either, it's Bomi as well, and that plays into their win condition. Get Bomi ahead early game, give Artiferns enough gold to scale into the late game, and then have OK Tiger and Brawler just push down the mid lane, the bottom lane, sorry. But in any case, let's take a look at the replay. It's just a little bit split up here, but the difference is Jack Attack had a buddy come and help him just a little bit after Artiferns arrived. In fact, Jack Attack getting the kill first. But it's all about Artiferns noticing where he can escape, throwing up the last breath, and not only escape out of danger, but set Bomi up for another kill.
All in all, solid stuff by Tigereye, now looking to pick up a dragon as well. And like I said, it feels like Too Easy is starting to lose a bit of control over this game. It feels like Tigereye just had a bit more of the macro. Like I said, guarantee you they can come into this game with a different strategy. Well, they have, and it's working. How did Too Easy answer this? How do they get back in?
Well, they've already got one turret, or they could just do it this way.
Yeah, they could just do it this way. Find OK Tiger. The movement speed is there for the disengage. A kick as well. Artiferns is here to turn around. Rin Toyama coming in low. They didn't spot Artiferns coming in because they didn't have vision. They have managed to get a double kill with Rin Toyama. And actually, RKL's managing to deal with Artiferns. Artiferns couldn't find anything Too Easy. I feel like that was a real breath of a hair situation. Brawler now deep under turret. Jack Attack comes in to pick up that kill. Rare Fiction is going to find Rin Toyama on the side here. He jumps way over the wall. He's going to get out alive. And nice one by Too Easy. They kind of found their way back in. And I feel like Tigereye...
they're still going.
Yeah, they're still going to try and keep this up because they've got Jack Attack who can dive Artiferns. We did say he was the answer here to the Yasuo. But the Yasuo is the answer to everything else. He gets one, but he gets traded back. They're keeping on for Jack Attack, which means... Sorry, Rare Fiction, which means Jack Attack takes a lot of turret shots. A nice arcade smash, but it's not enough. Jack Attack gets out. There's no ultimate for OK Tiger either. He's not going to be able to get anything here unless he gets some crazy Qs on Blinky. Ultimately, though, because they spent so much time diving, Too Easy did not get the turret.
Over such an extended fight as well, that's 5 kills for 1. They only traded back onto RKL, but Too Easy still don't manage to get anything out of it. They don't even get the tower that they were fighting around. The dragon was actually the start of that fight, and that's the objective that Tigereye picked up.
And that's actually a really key objective for them as well. It is a Cloud Drake. We've already seen them playing the rotational game. There's no two ways about it. Better than Too Easy so far. That really plays into that. Plus, having the Karma and the Lee Sin means that they're going to be able to set up plays through all kinds of funky angles. The key thing, though, to follow that up is going to be vision control.
Yep, and it's going to be really important around where the team fights happen. And the reason it's so important for Tigereye right now is up against Rin Toyama, who's got 4 of the 8 kills right now, has a lot of the gold coming out for Too Easy, means that his damage control is insane right now. If he catches you out with a spear, even if you're out of ferns right now, and even Rare Fiction, he's not super tanky just yet, which means Rin Toyama can start these fights by just taking someone down to a quarter health right away.
The only thing I want to touch on with that, though, that is absolutely true. It's absolutely a possibility, but the window for Too Easy to have those kinds of fights where they just straight up out damage will start to close as OK Tiger builds up further and further. Now, he's not quite there yet, but he's got the right pieces, and he already had a good start to this lane. Tigereye, we've seen them win from deficits. They're one of the best teams in this tournament at doing that. OK Tiger picking up the turret kind of really helps his situation as well. I feel like Tigereye are just going to bide their time here because they now know that they can lose team fights. They wanted to use Artiferns to navigate through the mid game. They may or may not be able to do that, but they've still got the late game of OK Tiger.
Too easy to match that, though. Like I said, during Champions League at the start of the game, forget all that. What's Bomi doing
Yeah,
here?
he's found Cupcake, found Cupcake, finding Cupcake, however you like it. Out of Ferns, though, he's the one who gets the kill, gets aggressed upon, eating a Chaos Storm. Now, Blinky wants to go for it. Flash out from Out of Ferns, though. He's going to be able to escape. And a poke back, Rin Toyama. They have to back away because the teleport was begun by Rare Fiction. He does cancel it because there's no way he's committing to that fight, but all in all, a free pickup for Tigereye.
And Jack Attack now has the teleport advantage as well, and that's going to be important around this mid lane turret. Jack Attack actually roaming down, met up by Bomi, who they're trying to cut him off. The turret is so low, but they're not going to be able to get it.
Yeah, Bomi, like you said, trying to cut off Jack Attack. It is going to work. They're not going to be able to kill Jack Attack here, especially not with Rin Toyama hovering in the area as well.
Rin Toyama.
All quiet on the western front for just a moment here. Tigereye, they just want to scale.
Tigereye definitely need to scale right now, but Artiferns, he's getting closer to that several item power spike. Already picked up his Phantom Dancer, which is where a lot of that critical strike damage does come. Has a bit of survivability with the Hex Drinker moving into Archaeal's Victor too. A lot of magic damage coming up from this Too Easy lineup. They're starting to siege up. Blinky needs a little bit more mana though to bring up that wave clear, but with that turret on almost no health, surely this should be a bit of free gold going over to Too Easy.
Yeah, I feel like it is going to be this time. OK Tiger, he does it the ultimate. Actually, no, it's going to be enough for them. Rin Toyama, it's getting flashbacks to when they played Villains a few weeks ago where he overstepped sieging a turret, so he's not going to make that same mistake twice. Rin Toyama backing away. They don't quite get the turret. Bomi's looking for a fight here. Might be going too deep. Archaeal does have not have a Chaos Storm available just yet. OK Tiger taking chunks, and Tiger I need to back out.
Bomi not running with a lot of health right now, as he has picked up Hex Drinker instead, looking for that magic shield against a lot of the burst damage that comes out from Too Easy. And, you know, the same reason it works for Artiferns, it works for him too. Rin Toyama on the side, but it's too far!
Yeah, he is definitely getting flashbacks now. A great scoop in from the side, and they pick up that one. Jack Attack coming in trying to answer it, but Rare Fiction's the one he's caught out. Even if Rare Fiction dies, I can't even say this is a great turnaround. Now Archaeal's getting caught out, knocked up, dropped down. Artiferns finds that one. Now he wants to get onto the backline, trying to deal with Blinky. The more of my Motion Shield is going to be enough to keep him alive, so the Brawler picks up Blinky. Now Rare Fiction still alive, onto Jack Attack, who is going to get dropped down even as Rare Fiction dies under the turret. They do finally find him. Bomi drops out as well. Brawler taking the last turret shot with his minions here, and OK Tiger alive. They are the ones who are going to indeed take a turret, and Tigereye just used all of their tools, proved their team fight is just the better one.
And they take the mid lane turret as their prize, and they're going to back out. Let's see exactly how they went down. Keep your eye on, well, actually he's already out of the fight. It was the Nidalee taken out straight away, and despite getting a lot of crowd control on them, it was Artiferns' ultimate that really sealed the deal there. Blinky, out of mana. Cupcake, out of mana. They could not bring what they needed to a team fight as well, and despite dropping a few kills to this turret as well, they got all they needed.
Yeah. You know what though? Forget the team fight. We've seen it twice now. What does this mean for Tigereye? Because this does put them more solidly in the lead. They only need to scale to late game, but the fact that Too Easy couldn't get back in right there means the window is even narrower now. How do they do it from here?
Too Easy need to focus a little bit more around the fights in the jungle and also around the dragon. They need to contest this Cloud Drake. Oh, Jack Attack miles away without a teleport. This dragon's dropping quicker, but Tigereye are showing hesitation. This could be where Too Easy strike.
Jack Attack is piling in as well. This does give Rare Fiction free time in the top side, but this is Too Easy. They're able to secure it. They need to get out now, and Blinky, he's maybe a little bit exposed here. Artiferns is looking for it. Gravity Field is going to stop the chase up, and a nice disengage out of Too Easy keeps them alive.
And they also force out the teleport from Rare Fiction. So despite being a teleport down themselves, Too Easy really pull out a good advantage there. They're still only 2,000 gold behind. They've now matched, well, they haven't matched the Dragons yet, but they pick one up away from Tigereye. So they're showing that they still have a little bit more macro control. As I say that, Archael's caught out!
Yeah, he is caught out. Oh, that's a nice pickup in the Ezreal ultimate as well. Okay, Tiger secures that. Now Artifern's already getting onto the back line, trying to set something up. Gets the double knock-up, gets the ultimate as well. That's going to allow the follow-up and Rintoyama. Rare Fiction finds that. Jack Attack, he might be able to get out, but he'll be the only one alongside Cupcake. He wants to turn something back around, but he knows he really can't. He's going to be forced to back away. And I was going to say earlier, Too Easy around that dragon gave, Tigereye around that dragon gave Too Easy a lot of respect. I don't think that's respect they needed to give them, and here they've just proved that. Tigereye is still the ones winning fights.
And as they leave that side of the map, not taking a tower, but dropping vision down of their own with their victory in the team fight. And with the scanner up, they think they're not seen going in here, but Jack Attack, he knows a little better.
He's going to be able to back out, using the movement speed, Blinky as well. To pop on the hunt for that, but in any case, keeping his team safe is an important thing there. They will be able to get a turret for this now. Tigereye, nice pick up for them. The gold lead is growing, and the window is closing for Too Easy.
Unfortunately, Too Easy for their way to come back into this. It's got to be keeping wards in their own jungle. They're on the defensive right now. They need to back off whenever they get into team fights, but still manage to take control around their towers. They've got the wave clear to do it with the Sivir and the Victor. They just need to keep the wards down and also take down the low health towers.
Finally getting that one down. That is a nice pickup for them. A little bit more gold in the pocket. This is still quite an even game gold-wise, but like I said, I feel like this is pretty much Tigereye's late game. There are plenty of tools, don't get me wrong, for Too Easy in the late game, but Tigereye is the ones with the advantage. Ooh, Artifern's missing out on the knock-up there. They're not quite going to be able to catch out Rintoyama, but Rintoyama does need to play a bit safer here. Like you said, a lot of it's going to be the vision control, and I think we're going to see Tigereye setting up for vision here.
And they've almost caught Blinky here. He does have spell shield. He should be fine.
Flashes out, but if Artiferns can find a knock-up, or indeed Rare Fiction goes in and knocks with the Arcane Smash, they don't quite find it though, and they're just forced to back out.
Not just forced to back out though, Too Easy had to use a flash on Blinky and an exhaust from Cupcake right now. And look at what's happening. They're now spreading out, they're dropping a lot of wards down, they've got control around the river, and well, honestly, it's all looking great for Tigereye.
Yeah, Archael did push in that top side though. That's probably going to force Rare Fiction up top. But he also kind of wants to go to where Jack Attack is, so instead they're sending OK Tiger up. He's integral to these fights, and I feel like this is an opportunity for Too Easy to make something happen.
Too Easy though, they're going to be walking into a very hard team to engage against with OK Tiger now finishing up his Iceborne Gauntlet. His Muramana has turned online and he's actually building a quite damage-heavy Ezreal as well, moving into that Bloodthirster very likely next. And well, honestly, that's hard to engage against, and when you've only really got the Poppy to do so for you, it's going to be quite hard. Again, it's going to be Too Easy on the defensive for what I imagined is the rest of the game.
Almost certainly. I mean, they have ends, but I feel like their ends would be Tigereye's mistakes. Tigereye not a team known to make mistakes. And like I said, the longer it goes, the easier it gets with that Ezreal. Okay, Tiger, he started off strong, and it's just a continuation of that, right? So all they need to do is leverage that. You know what, it's not like that at all. I'm not going to use that example. Carry on with your days.
All right, no more examples for the rest of the game.
Sorry.
Forget that.
Yeah.
Now, the double Rylai's build coming out from Archael and Rintoyama means that they are going to be able to pursue the team. I said they were going to have trouble engaging onto Tigereye. Now, with the long-range slow that's going to come out from Rintoyama whenever he connects a spear, it means they can throw just a little bit of a sprinkling of pick potential into the team fights. But at the same time, if someone's slowed, they are ripe for the picking for Poppy's ultimate. You can throw them out of the team fight and then take an advantage there.
And that's, I think, the other way Too Easy get in. I mean, they didn't leverage the Poppy when she had an out-and-out advantage, but that ultimate is still a way to force a numerical advantage in any fight. We actually saw King 5 doing that against the villains on the Wednesday, Raven using that to great effect. Difference is they were a lot more ahead in their situations as well. This is Tigereye now starting to push up that line of vision. To their credit, Too Easy are keeping it fairly well answered.
And on these tier 2 turrets as well, Blinky has to be careful walking around in his own jungle right now because as you can see, Tigereye commanding the vision in that side of the jungle, clearing it out as well. They've only got one scanner though. I'd like to see them pick up maybe another one just so they can control their lead even more because look at the blue ones. They're coming out to match as well. Too Easy staying on top of the vision game.
Yeah, I mean, just as we said that, I mean, Tigereye, they are still making slow gains in the vision game. Like, it's not like they're clearing everything out and then Too Easy aren't answering it all, nor is it like Tigereye are placing things down and then Too Easy are clearing it all. It's somewhere between the two, and Tigereye do slowly push inward, but you're right, it would be happening a lot faster, I feel, with Bomi picking up a sweeper. But at the same time on Lee Sin, you want to kind of keep the trinket for for ward hopping. I was trying to come up with the right name of the trinket, but it doesn't even matter because it's the ward hopping that's the important thing. He does have a sightstone though, so he has the option to just pick up a sweeper instead.
Something I'd like to see slotted into someone's build for Too Easy, most likely Jack Attack, would be the Frozen Heart. Against Yasuo, it slows down his attack speed, which ties into a lot of his damage. But Artiferns, it's very hard to stop him right now. He's 5 kills for 2. He's got a lot of items right now and moving into another Cloud Drake, which Tigereye are sitting in a great position for. It's going to be very hard for Too Easy to contest this. They did it before. We'll see if they can do it again.
Too Easy squishy. Last time Tigereye respected the potential team fight from Too Easy, but they then immediately learned afterwards that they didn't actually need to respect it. So this time, they're just not going to bother respecting it. They know Too Easy can't make the fight happen. In fact, Too Easy aren't even going to try. Free Dragon now for Tigereye. The gold lead grows.
There's a 3,000 gold lead. Not a huge amount this late into the game. 29 minutes. But look at those completed items right now. You compare them
It's not a big lead, but it's enough.
You compare them between the lanes. 3,000 gold lead is enough to mean that Artiferns picked up his Infinity Edge. 3 completed items, including the Mirror Mana for OK Tiger. He's now on his late game, evolved into Blastoise phase from that blue stage. Tigereye are looking really strong.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about Too Easy's itemization here as well, because they've gone for a couple of pickups predominantly on the Nidalee and the Poppy, which suggests they want to stick to you and chase you down. The only thing is, Tigereye aren't going to be trying to retreat from fights. They're going to be going in. So I don't know if I really like the Rylai's here on Rintoyama. I feel like it's not going to get much use.
Watching what we're seeing right here is quite commonly an area that teams are picked out without vision right now. And Tigereye are great at picking up on this. They're going around clearing vision, once again making good use of the singular scanner that Brawler has. But Rintoyama, again, he's matching it. They're going ward for ward right now. And they're trying to catch it with that wind wall. Oh.
Yeah. I was going to say, or at least they're trying, and like I said, it's slow gains for Tigereye. Even if they're not pushing further into this jungle, they are maintaining Baron control, and they're denying any kind of Baron vision of any kind for Too Easy, including in that banana bush there. So there's only the one ward. It now is spotted and will die. And that means that Tigereye have all the time in the world to set something up around Baron. And while they're doing that, Ref Fiction and Jack Attack can waste their time in the bottom lane, because Ref Fiction is teleport.
Jack Attack 2 can match it, and both top laners do have a tool to cancel the enemies, so if they feel like their team has a stronger 4v4, which I feel like, given the jump, never mind, there's the jump there, but Cupcake is going to be alright, but...
Yeah, it doesn't want it just yet. But that's the kind of move they need to push the vision line up even further, and that's exactly what they do. They clear out the deeper pink ward, they clear out another piece, and now they're going to go for the Baron.
And this is completely unspotted, but Too Easy, they're smart guys, they know they need to go in.
Yeah, but even going in, they don't have the vision to get their ideal positioning on this. They're also having to commit Jack Attack quite a way back from where they want him to be. And already the Baron is low. They have to go now. Rintoyama, he can't get the spear to go in. There we go. The Baron's secure. There's the knockout of Ref Fiction, though. That's how they get the numerical advantage. They're trying to get onto OK Tiger. Blinky's going deep for it, but everyone's coming to OK Tiger's aid, and Blinky's too deep. He dies. Artifer's gone deep on the backside himself now. He will get traded back, but the rest of the Tigereye lineup can keep this fight alive because they've still got OK Tiger and they've still got Bomi, but they don't quite want it. They're just trying to disengage. And actually, this is where Too Easy can start to win it, because they want Tigereye to flee. They want to stick on them, chase them down, chip them away. OK Tiger, now they're committing again too late because they've already lost Ref Fiction. Too Easy.
The burn!
Oh, the burn indeed! Wow! Picking up that one on the back end of that is big news for Tigereye. It was a lost fight until that moment because now they can take this turret.
Yeah, they're going to move straight down this mid lane, and what looked like a commanding team fight victory for Too Easy is actually going to be a turret loss where Tigereye are picking it up.
I mean, we say commanding, but Tigereye still picked up a Baron, right? Even if they had have not got that last kill, they could have still just backed out, not necessarily gotten this turret right now, but they would have backed out, waited for their respawns to come in, and then gone and taken the turrets. The fact that they've done it now instead is big news for them.
Yes, and now they sit nice and pretty at a 5,000 gold lead, and surely that's only going to grow now that they've picked up the Baron buff. They've snuck into the enemy jungle, and is Cupcake going to be their next victim?
Oh, he so is, because he's there to clear out vision. He's going to go super deep here. They're just waiting for someone else from Too Easy to show their face, and now they're going to find Cupcake. Oh, poor guy didn't stand a chance. Like I said, they were waiting for someone else to reveal themselves, and someone did. That was Jack Attack in the top lane. They knew that at most 2, possibly 3 other people could come in, but OK Tiger and Bomi could definitely get out, so free pickup, more siege.
And now with 25 seconds until Cupcake is back, and that's not even including the runtime. They can now start pressuring down this turret. They see Jack Attack without a teleport way up in the top lane. They've got everyone down here for the party. Rare Fiction's nearby to join. This turret falls.
Yeah, definitely going to drop down. Jack Attack miles away. I feel like even if he comes in here, there's not much he can do because he needs to flank. This isn't how a Poppy finds a hard engage.
Oh, Blinky.
In fact, no one on this team can find a hard engage in this situation, especially without Cupcake for the wave. If they get a catch, they need to be able to secure it. OK Tiger is going to be able to back away. They'll just bide their time, siege up slowly, wave after wave, and they're going to crack the base before long, I feel.
OK Tiger, well, he's run out of mana there. Mirror mana does cost quite a lot when you do have it on forever, but in any case, Tigereye take what advantages they can. They're sitting nice and pretty with that 7,000 gold lead, making a bit more of a Baron power play, just with the catch onto Cupcake. Now, Too Easy, they've got a way back in this, but it's going to be several team fights before they can hope for a win.
Yeah, this is a really interesting thing as well. We talked about how Tigereye needed to come into this with a new strategy. They did. It's this one. It's working. So if you're Too Easy, going into game 3, do you play to try and counter out this one? Do you play to try and counter out the other one? You can't really do both. And they're a team that needs to have a plan. We saw how well they could play last game when they did have a plan. This game they kind of didn't, and it's really showing. I mean, it's not like they've been playing badly. They're just not proactive. They're not setting themselves up to win. All they're doing is trying to not lose.
And ever since the start of the game, we saw Rintoyama and Jack Attack really get the only advantage that Too Easy has had this entire game. But you compare that to what Tigereye were able to get in the early game. That was Yasuo and Lee Sin with Bomi and Artifans. Those are way more important champions to get an early lead on. And now, with this Baron buff, they're going to continue their march of destruction.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say the Lee Sin. I would more or less say OK Tiger, because he was their late game insurance. And then getting Artiferns going was exactly what they needed to sort of navigate through the mid part of this game. Now they're going to try and leverage that again. Going already in, Jack Attack trying to find Rare Fiction. He's not the one you really want to fight. Rare Fiction, it's like he's not even taking damage. The Chaos Storm goes down. Wow.
That could have been more important.
Okay, well it wasn't. Now Jack Attack is going to get Grace Spot. Whoa! Jack Attack goes down under the turret. And now, that's actually all they need. It's the numerical advantage. Tigereye just took the opportunity to back off, come back in for the fight after Jack Attack overextended, because Jack Attack kind of needs to go aggressive on this Poppy to make fights happen. Now this looks like it's going to be the first inhibitor of the game falling, while Artiferns has kept doing the work on the side. If they get 2 in one go here, it's definitely all over Too Easy, or they can just go for a fight.
Rintoyama actually spent the majority of that fight doing the dragon by himself, and that explains why Tigereye were able to take a commanding lead here. 2 inhibitors down. The base is looking crippled for Too Easy. They do have chase potential, but do you really want to chase these guys?
Like I said, it's not even like they were playing to win earlier on. It's like they were playing to not lose, and now that they are losing, they don't seem to know how to play to turn that around. So if you can't even play to not lose and do that successfully, can you counter out Tigereye in game 3? Because right now, that's what Too Easy need to focus on.
Rintoyama and the rest of Too Easy must know that their next fight could be the game-changing one, which would bring us to a 3rd match. Rintoyama noticing that, picking up a Guardian Angel to make sure that they get the most out of the next fight. With 2 inhibitors down, it's going to be complete control over to Tigereye, who've now controlled a 10,000 gold lead.
Jack Attack trying to keep the minions clear. It's a losing battle one way or another, because Tigereye will come back in, ready to take down the remainder of the base, and there really isn't much left standing. They can also do the classic slow siege, where you waste the enemy team's time on that bottom lane turret while super minions do the work elsewhere. I don't know that Too Easy even have a way to answer these super minions. So like I said, they need to start turning their attention to game 3. In an ideal world, how would they have beaten this Tigereye team comp? Because they need to know how for next game.
Don't let the Lee Sin get ahead. You don't let Artiferns get kills. And of course, like you said, there's more than one strategy that Tigereye can bring out in game 3. But just before that does happen, we're still sitting in game 2. We're still sitting in potentially the last team fight. Will the Guardian Angel for Rintoyama keep him alive? Because it's now matched by Artiferns' own Guardian Angel. And he is doing a lot more work than Rin Toyama in this game.
I mean, I'm going to answer your question, right? Rin Toyama's Guardian Angel, no. It doesn't mean anything for this fight. It's a second life of someone that shouldn't even be looking to be a carry here. They want their carries to carry, and without the right number of tanks here, Artiferns is having free reign over this backline. Rin Toyama, he keeps going in deep, and he keeps getting shut out by OK Tiger. So it's just a matter of time. This is what I talked about before. You pressure the bottom lane turret, the super minions do the rest of the work, and it's just a matter of time for Too Easy.
And with OK Tiger on that blue build as well, he can just sit down and poke, but Blinky, he's dropped low already.
Yeah, they've already managed to get the damage on him. Rare Fiction keeping it in on the side. Artiferns gets bumped away by Jack Attack, but the distance isn't enough because now Artiferns is back in the fight. Rare Fiction is still not dead. That means Artiferns can come in. Now they're turning the fight onto its head. There's going to be the kill onto Rin Toyama, or the Guardian Angel onto Rin Toyama. Kills onto other people though, as RKL now to drop down. Rin Toyama is going to die at long last under the turret to Foamy, and with one Nexus turret being hammered away by Super Minions, the other being hammered away by the Tigereye boys themselves, it's going to be game 2 won by Tigereye. It's going to be a game 3 here in the Hexadome, and Too Easy have a lot to answer for.
I feel like we've been here before, with Tigereye taking it to a third game. It was the other way around actually in the Hexadome, where Tigereye picked up the first one and Too Easy were the ones to even it up. But in any case, these two teams with such a history, such great stories from how they've played against each other. They're doing it again, and it's the most important matchup because the loser of the next game is going home. Their journey ends. They will not go and face the villains on Wednesday.
It's also the first even elimination match we've had. Let's be completely honest. You know, all credit to the other teams that got sent packing. These two teams, it feels like either could make it forward, and whoever goes home tonight could well have continued on. That's something that they will hold on to, no doubt, if that ends up happening to them. So there's a lot on the line for just that reason. Like, ignoring the fact that this is the path to finals, right? Whoever loses is going to feel like they could have done it themselves. And you can bet it's something they'll kick themselves over until maybe they get another chance. But in any case, Tigereye, Too Easy. Again, in the rematch, they are dead even. We will be going to a game 3, and we will see you in that game 3 in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere.
The New Zealand Gaming Championships League of Legends Premiership is presented by Let's Play Live, Australasia's new home of esports at letsplay.live. Logitech G, bringing you winning gaming devices, mice, keyboards, headsets and controllers. Game with passion, win with science. Logitech G. Twitch, the world's leading social video platform and community for gamers. Twitch.tv. The NZGC is powered by Playtech. Technology at play. Playtech is the #1 custom PC system builder in New Zealand. Visit playtech.co.nz. Players stay at Adina Apartment Hotel at Britomart, Auckland. Book today at adinahotels.com. Adina, official accommodation of the NZGC.
And welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the match, to the game. Too Easy versus Tigereye. Lots of T's, lots of percussive consonants in my sentences because I'm excited. And either Tigereye or Too Easy is going home tonight after this match. Too Easy came in swinging in the first one. They counted out what had worked against them last time these two teams met. Then Tigereye have come back, and now the question is, can Too Easy set themselves up to counter out both of those strategies in the same draft?
It's going to be a very hard pick and ban phase for Tigereye and Too Easy as well. Very important, very tough champions to ban out against. Despite actually losing that game, we saw strong Nidalee play coming out from Rin Toyama. He was definitely the furthest ahead in the game, so the fact that that slipped through the ban phase, a little bit questionable, but at the same time, they were able to deal with it, so they may go ahead and let it slip through again. But of course, it's going to be Tigereye on the blue side this time, so they're going to be able to pick up the Nidalee if it slips through the ban phase again.
Yeah, it is a potential option for them. If you're Too Easy, though, you need to come in with, I think, a bit of a different approach here, because like I said, Tigereye brought out a different strategy, and it feels like the key point of both of these strategies, as much as Rare Fiction's Gangplank is key to that kind of ground control fight, Artiferns has actually been the crux, right? Vladimir for the mid-ground control, Artiferns for the diving comp. Maybe he's the one they need to go after. But how do you do that and also take the Jhin off the board? I don't know. All this and more in Champion Select.
I feel like Artiferns has a little bit too deep of a champion pool to really effectively ban out, unless you spend all 3 bans and then take a pick away from him because you're blue side. And then, in that case, you're blind picking into mid. I feel like it's not worth it. Continue to ban out the other lanes and focus on them. Because, of course, yes, Artiferns can get ahead, but if he's on something like Yasuo, it's still a squishy champion. And we saw Tigereye too easy actually failed to just turn around. Artiferns dived straight into the enemy team and lived for so long.
Yeah. Well,
it was unbelievable.
Yeah, and more importantly, in game 1, even with Artiferns on that Vlad being a significant part of that team comp, it's still lost, right? It's still lost for Tigereye. So it's not ban out Artiferns, it's the only way, and it's not Artiferns gets his champion and Tigereye wins. With that in mind, let's just go ahead and quickly recap these team lineups. We've talked a lot about who Artiferns is, but let's really get to know who he is. So first of all, Tigereye.
Tigereye, not quite able to... actually, no, they were able to pull out a victory. Right,
they weren't able to do it in game 1.
Team's too even that I keep forgetting who won the games. But it is Rare Fiction in the top lane, Bomi in the jungle, Artiferns, the guy we're all talking about in the mid lane, OK Tiger, and Brawler are your duo lane with AD carry and support.
And coming up against them, a convincing game 1 for themselves. And slightly shaky game 2. It is too easy. Jack Attack in the top lane. One of our most storied top laners in the country. Rintoyama in the jungle. RKL in mid. And then Blinky and Cupcake in the bottom lane. Blinky and Cupcake fell prey to a bit of a funky start. Shenanigans, as someone might call them, at level 1. So we need to not see that out of them again, because the other thing, aside from Artiferns getting big, was OK Tiger had stuff in his pocket in the early part of the game that meant Too Easy couldn't get ahead in their own bottom lane, which meant inevitably OK Tiger outscaled, as was always going to happen on that Ezreal pick. But never mind all that, it's in the past. Let's talk about the now and the fact that OK Tiger has picked up Ezreal again.
Yeah, also a few ban adaptations as well. The ones that I like are the Gnar and the Nidalee. Blue side banning out Gnar means that it can't be left open until the last pick, where it's just going to be a counter pick to 99% of the top laners. And the Nidalee, of course, has to be taken away when you are on the red side, because New Zealand junglers just seem to love that champion.
Well, and junglers all around the world. I mean, Nidalee's been drawing a lot of bans at all levels of play. Maybe it's something New Zealand picked up on first, but in any case, you're right. All of the junglers in this tournament prioritize that. What we're going to see instead, though, is Rintoyama going back onto the Rex side. I like that as a pickup, and also Jack Attack on Maokai. They're forcing Tigereye into a bit of a situation here. And look, Artiferns, he's just hovering over all of his potential power picks. Bomi is going to get Lee Sin. Do Tigereye just go for the same thing as last game, just with a different top lane pickup? Or do they shake it up completely, knowing that Too Easy might have figured out last game's strategy and have countered it?
Well, I feel like they can't counter both, obviously, right? I feel like going back to a bit of more of the...
Can't do paper rock.
If you can get comfort picks... whatever. If you go back to more of the comfort picks, get champion players on their strong roles, I'd like to see... well, look, there's a Karma locked in. It's already a strong duo lane. Winning lanes is very important in these two matchups, because we've seen things be a little bit even. No team has had a lane advantage in every single lane in either of these matchups. I feel like if a team can do that and then allow the jungler a little more free roam, depending on who gets picked up. If it's a Lee Sin, that's going to give him the comfortability. Actually, it is a Lee Sin.
Yeah, it is a Lee Sin.
It's just not highlighted
properly. I noticed that as well. I was like, wait a minute, but Too Easy already picking. But yeah, the Lee Sin as well. So like Tigereye so far are going for if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But the things they haven't picked, I think they're two most important lanes. And that's going to be top lane and mid lane. And we already talked about Artiferns. He's not going to be able to get a counter pick, but what they're going to do here is they're going to force something out of Too Easy. They're going to kind of fake out Too Easy, go, ooh, we're going to do what we did last game. They're making Too Easy reveal something about their team comp, and now Tigereye can commit to what strategy they want to play, because they could do that Gangplank Vlad, or they could go for Artiferns on that Yasuo again. Both are options. Or take a third option. Something brand new.
Garen. I don't think it's going to be Garen.
Me neither. Maybe it will be Garen. I don't think it's going to be Garen. You're dead right, but they're leaving themselves all the options here, and this is just clever. The order in which they pick these things up, it is smart, and it's forcing Too Easy onto the back foot. But I feel like Too Easy aren't taking the bait. They've already picked up Bard and Lucian. I feel like they're just going to play to their own strength here, and again, maybe coming into this game with an actual plan.
The Bard and Lucian shows that they're going to look for a lot more kill and trade potential in the bottom lane, because
a lot more chimes.
Yeah, Well, yes, they're going to look for chimes as well.
It's gonna be chime time.
Someone's going to be looking for chimes. But the Lucian brings a lot of kill potential, Bard brings the crowd control, but also the trading as well. It threatens the enemy duo. Even if they are Ezreal and Karma, they do have a bit of a danger zone, but this is the guy that I was talking about in Game 1, and this is the guy that we saw in Game 2.
And this is actually Tigereye taking a third option. Make no mistake, even though it's mostly the same, and Artiferns is back on the Yasuo, they're going with the Rumble here because they want something more proactive that looks to team fight in a very different kind of way, and they're looking for something that muscles out the Maokai. And we actually said the Rumble might be an option last game when that Maokai was picked up. The fact that it's being picked up now means Tigereye are going to have a lot of bullies in a lot of lanes, and if like last game, it just so happened to be that OK Tiger got ahead early, which isn't often something that happens in that Ezreal lane. All Tigereye need to do this game is get that lane ahead, and then all of their lanes are winning lanes. And like you just said, if a team can get all of their lanes winning, well, I feel like this matchup is going to go one way.
I mean, it sounds really simple. Win lane, win game, right?
Just win the lane. Just win the game. I mean, it's all Tigereye need to do to win is just win.
Korean advice right there.
Yeah. But when Cassiopeia ults, just turn around.
Exactly, right? Just close your eyes. But Cassiopeia, like you said, is going to round out the composition for Too Easy right now, and I feel like it's a good one. The one thing to be careful of into the Yasuo matchup is the fact that you can wind wall your Twin Fang, which is where a lot of damage from early Cassiopeia does come from. So you need to bait it out. You need to hit him multiple times. It puts a little bit more pressure on to the Cassiopeia, but at the same time, a lot of teamfight potential and a lot of wave clear to keep Yasuo pinned up against his tower.
Yeah, I feel like if Tigereye do get, even if they don't get the bottom lane going, if they either get the mid or the top lane ahead, they're going to have really strong team fights, which means Too Easy will have to play a very slow kind of game. I was about to say if they want to get to the late game. I'll be honest, I don't know if they really win the late game hard out just because of that Ezreal. So on the flip side of this, Too Easy desperately need to get ahead early. But all this and more when we actually hit the Rift. Until then, Lollipops, take it away.
Hey guys, my name is Lollipops and I'm here to help you get to know more about League of Legends and esports in general. And the best place to start is at the beginning. What is League of Legends? League of Legends is a team-oriented strategy game. The goal is to work together with your teammates to bring down the enemy nexus, located in the middle of their base, and do it before they take down yours. The action takes place in the Summoner's Rift, the League of Legends playing field. It's made up of 3 lanes, bot for bottom, mid for middle, and top for top. During the game, champions get stronger in 2 ways. By using gold earned during the game to buy powers and spells, or by leveling up through kills and experience until they reach level 6, which unlocks their ultimate ability. And that is a real game changer. Sometimes things don't go as planned. When a player's champion dies, all is not lost. They get to respawn back in the fountain. But each time a champion dies, players have to wait for their death timer to expire. And the more you respawn, the longer that takes, leaving your teammates a champion or 2 down, which can turn the game. And that is the basics of League of Legends. Use teamwork, skill, and strategy to take down the enemy, while they try to do exactly the same back. Enjoy tonight's matchup. This is Lollipops logging out. See you later.
Thanks for that, Lollipops. Let's take a look at these win conditions again. We talked about how both of these teams kind of need to win in the early game, right? Okay, just win the lane, just win, just go on, just win. That's how you win, So Too Easy, they do it straight up through Lucian. I feel like that's it. They just need to get the Lucian ahead, and they can potentially bully out. They need to be very defensive in how they play around the Artiferns, Yasuo, and of course the Rumble, so it's not as simple as that. They then need to leverage it right, but they've got that plan. We've seen Too Easy thrive when they have a plan. How did Tigereye do it?
Now, Tigereye, they've got to match out what's coming out of the lanes, right? Lucian Bard is a dangerous lane, and I feel like if they're going to lose any of the lanes, it might be down there. Ezreal and Karma are going to have to sit back, play safe. They will hit a slump when Ezreal picks up the Tears of the Goddess. Like, we've seen it in all 3 games, so, well, haven't seen third game yet, but in the first 2 games, Ezreal's slow to go, but he becomes very strong later on in the game. But you're looking at mid lane and particularly top lane. Those are where the lanes can win just on their own. It means that we can see Bomi bring the Lee Sin to the bottom lane and take down the Bard, take down the Lucian, especially even baiting them into kills, because Lucian and Bard are going to be looking for trades, looking for damage, and if Lucian uses his mobility to go in on you, you know when to strike.
Yeah. The other thing as well, we talked about how this top and mid lane are a little bit favored here for Tigereye. That's not true if they get shut down, right? And if the Cassiopeia also gets ahead, that's a really solid option for this team comp because this Tigereye squad wants to go in. Now, the Rumble will probably not get caught out by too many Cassiopeia ults, but he does want to go in. If, however, the Rumble gets ahead too far, I feel like this is almost impossible for 2Easy to overcome, just because no matter who gets ahead for them in that regard, you're always going to be fighting over an equalizer. And Lucian wants to stand exactly where that equalizer is. Jack Attack wants to go further in than that. The Bard kind of wants to help his team retreat, and everyone gets really, really split up by that. So they need to be forcing out the equalizer.
Yeah, it's all about forcing out spells like that. On the flip side as well, if they're, again, looking to win the bottom lane with that Lucian Bard, to play into what Tigereye can bring out is all about that ward control in the lane.
Oh, yeah.
You get those wards behind the enemy laners, and you can bring the teleports down.
Matt Smart Ross. Game 3.
Matt Pixie Carroll. I know.
Game 3. We're actually here. It's a game 3 again between these two guys, right? We have our top 4 teams in this competition, and they've all proved how good they are. I kind of wish neither of these teams had to go home. I almost want to see these two teams in the final, but that can't happen. It is no longer a possibility. And in this game, right here, right now, one of these teams is going home. One team's journey ends here for good.
And these teams have come up against each other so often in the qualifier, in the Hexadome, so many times, and it's been back and forth. Now we're going to know who really is the best team at this point in time. Who's going to go on to face the villains for that all-important spot in the grand final at Motat, and who's going home today?
A lot of questions around both of these teams, the strategies they bring in, whether or not they can indeed do it. 2Easy, they figured out Tigereye once. Can they do it again? Can they straight up win these lanes? Can they get ahead? Can they leverage it? Tigereye, honestly, same questions, but with them, we have seen them leverage leads. So the question is, can they gain those leads?
Now, going over what I was talking about just before we hit the rift, it's all about that ward placement in the bottom lane for 2Easy. If they can get it behind OK Tiger and Brawler, that is prime position for Jack Attack to come in and bring his point-and-click crowd control. And Rare Fiction has to notice this in time, has to be able to match the teleport to bring out the equal team fights. And especially if Jack Attack can do it before level 6 as well, then there's no equalizer to worry about.
Yeah, funnily enough, there's something I want to touch on here. We've seen in Worlds so far a lot of Rumble picks where they've got bullied out a lot, not so much by Maokai's, but they've got kind of bullied out, they've got aggressed on by junglers, and they've had to blow equalizers either to clear minions or as kind of a last ditch to turn around ganks. That's what 2Easy need to do here to force out those equalizers, and already we're starting to see very fast pathing by Rin Toyama.
That's what you get for not leveling Wind Wall at level 2 out of burns. You're going to take a lot of trade. Because the passive is still there.
Yeah, it
to
helps
survive.
It's something.
Archael, though, dropping a little bit in the old mana bar too, so, well, trades back and forth. This lane, again, it's going to be all about that Wind Wall control.
Yeah, and for a brief moment there, our production team decided that we looked cooler than mid lane, so you got a brief flash of us there. There you have it, folks. The curtain has dropped. That's what we look like behind the scenes. Excited is what I hope we look like, because I am super excited now in this bottom lane. Blinky and Cupcake trying to do what they can. Rin Toyama pathing behind, unspotted. OK Tiger, now they're starting to spot it. The flashes, sorry, the dash is there. Now the flash for Brawler. And OK Tiger holding on to his own flash is going to be fine. Rin Toyama, he's taking a chunk. Actually, he needs to get out. It has to blow the heal there out of Blinky. Rin Toyama gets out alive. And while this has all happened, Bomi is starting to put Deep Vision down and maybe wants to find something on Archael.
Deep Vision, though, is not going to match the fact that Brawler has lost his flash, has lost his exhaust as well. You can bet your bottom dollar that Rin Toyama is going to go back to try and control that lane even more. There is a river war there now, but at the same time, Rek'Sai brings so many unique ganking parts. Arthur, it's going to be fine. There's no mana for Archael.
Well, well, exactly. The reason I was saying, is because Archael's out of mana, and Bomi had been hovering around for a long time. He's given up on that one because now he wants to move up towards Jack Attack instead. But even if he doesn't find a gank here, he's just running circles around Rin Toyama, getting deep in the jungle, totally unanswered, and it's looking like Bomi is going to be able to return and get his own rep buff at some point, already opening out a CS lead, and that's exactly what we need on what must be a proactive Lee Sin.
Yeah, Bomi getting a 3-buff start is pretty good. hasn't forced out anything in the lanes so far, and that's going to be where it's important. Rare Fiction shoving in the Maokai into the top side of the map. Bomi's spending so much time up here.
Surely he's got to recall here. He needs to pick up items anyway, and like we said, he wants to go and pick up that red buff, secure that CS lead for himself. And we talked about how Rin Toyama had to pressure these lanes here, because otherwise the mid and top will just start to bully out most likely. But so far he hasn't really done that, and already we're seeing a CS lead in mid lane and top lane. And, my word, a CS lead in bottom lane.
And that's after being ganked as well. Rin Toyama, for all his presence that he's done, he needs to go back down and actually shut someone down, actually get a kill, because OK Tiger, he's sitting back, he's got his Tears of the Goddess, and we talked about how Blinky and Cupcake were going to look for trades with the Lucian Bard, but OK Tiger's had the flexibility, the comfort to go back and start stacking up that tier.
And this is what we saw last game. OK Tiger got an early lead, and because there was enough tools for Tigereye to get through the mid game, they knew they could always fall back on the late game if they needed, and they left Too Easy with pretty much no way to get in the game. If that happens again this early, Too Easy can find themselves in a really steep uphill battle. They need to either shut down the bottom lane now or shut down another lane really hard.
The thing is, Cupcake, of course, can go ahead and do a little bit of roaming on that bar, but every time he leaves, leaving Blinky alone. And please let a pink one.
So I just said how much he needs to shut down a lane. He's trying to do that on bottom, but he just gave himself away, which means Bomi is here for the catch on Rin, dealing the damage, and Rin is forced out in case Artiferns comes in. Now this means Rin Toyama is going to be too low to gank mid or even top. And again, the window gets wider for Tigereye, the window gets narrower for Too Easy.
And hey, it's like they listen to me in Champions Select. Win lane, win game. Bomi, for all we know, he could just be looking at Rin Toyama, keeping him down, dueling him around the jungle, and making sure the lanes are getting their advantages, because we're seeing that all across the map. CS leads in mid, top, bot lane, even in the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, you can't call it yet because, of course, neither team has any kills or any turrets. They don't have a whole lot, but what there is a gold lead and very aggressive lanes that can just out and out win here for Tigereye. They are already ahead. Now, I said Too Easy. Looked like they might have a plan here. I'm going to go back on that. It looks like they have no plan.
Rin Toyama, though, going to be spotted out by the ward, but is it too late?
Oh, there we go. Rare Fiction just gets out. Quick flash for him. Rin Toyama
does have equalizer.
Yeah, he does. Rin Toyama will want to return to that lane, though, but he does need to clear out some of that vision first. He didn't actually spot out the ward on his way up. He was looking for the gank, so actually he doesn't really pause to clear out that vision either. Rin Toyama, he needs to be proactive, but he's not giving himself the options to do that. He's not setting himself up to be proactive.
He needs to follow up on his ganks, right? Because we talked about how he blew the flash and exhaust out of Brawler and immobile support on Karma. That flash is almost back up. Exhaust has been back up for light years, and now his gank effectively meant nothing because OK Tiger's still sitting quite ahead in CS and hasn't had an effect on any other lane.
And now Jack Attack backing, while Rare Fiction continues to shove on that lane, he now gets free damage on the turret. Jack Attack can't commit a teleport. Rare Fiction still has a CS lead, and even that gank on the top lane comes to nothing. Like I said, Rin Toyama, he's just not giving himself the tools to be proactive.
And, well, look at it. He's being punished so hard for it as Bomi and Rare Fiction, with the command in their respective areas of the map, are able to just walk into his jungle, take his stuff, drop vision of their own, and maybe even look for some dueling as well.
Is the pressure starting to get to Too Easy, I wonder? Because we talked about how they need to win this game. That is winning some lanes. That means proactivity out of Rin Toyama. The fact that he's not, when we know how strong a jungler he can be, maybe says that they're starting to just get a little bit messed in the head here. Tigereye, maybe they've just found a way into Too Easy's psyche here because they aren't able to make these proactive moves.
They're just winning in every single lane. I find it hard to say anything else more important than that right now. The fact that OK Tiger, sitting on his Tears of the Goddess as well, is the fact that he doesn't actually have combat stats from that item and is still ahead. It's looking really nice and pretty.
I want to talk about something going on here. Something slowly brewing up for Tigereye. Already they have pink wards down that Too Easy are in no position to contest. There's one up by the red buff on the top side of Too Easy's jungle. One close to the dragon. Never mind that. Okay, Tiger. Nah, it's going to be alright. Just take some damage. He is quite low here. But with these two pink wards that, like I said, Too Easy can't contest, Tigereye, they can just put some aggression down here and start setting up for a dragon.
Blinky at some point does have to recall Rintoyama, looking for that unique ganking path that Rek'Sai does bring. Throwing that ward over the wall.
The ward actually
that
revealed him.
shows where he is now. He's going to have to back off.
Well, unless they assume that the ward was Cupcake, maybe, because he was technically out of line of sight. Oh, Blinky! Get out. Just go. Just leave, Blinky. There's nothing for you here. Cupcake's even going to Iron Giant this one if he has to. You go, I stay. Blinky.
He's got a snowflake.
Go. He's got a snowflake, but Prola and OK Tiger have so much poke. Blinky.
Oh my god.
He's playing it nice again. Cupcake forced a portal through the turret.
But
Rintoyama's come in though. Hold on. What? What was that? OK Tiger just dropped the ball there. Completely. He was too keen for Blinky. Maybe that was the plan all along. Blinky staying so that they could bait it out. Misstep by OK. Tiger pays for it with his life.
At the same time, though, without any objectives actually taken down yet, despite being killed down, well, Tigereye, they're still ahead in gold.
Yeah.
It's 1,000 gold at 10 minutes, which is fairly significant.
And make no mistake, right? Yes, OK Tiger died. He is still 20 CS ahead. Just went back, picked up a Mana Moon, and the kill went over to Cupcake. So you can barely even call that Blinky putting one back on the board because it's just straight up no. So let's take a look at what happened here. I think the Bard stun caught it. No.
I'm glad we got the important part of that.
Sick replay.
Not gonna lie, that was not what we wanted to see.
That was a... Well, no, look, that is exactly what I wanted to see. OK Tiger just completely misstepped there. We knew that he died, but I think we just needed to remind him how embarrassing that death was. But in any case, he is definitely a good player. He'll be able to tidy this one up. Make sure that mistake doesn't happen again. And already they're going to look to be proactive around this dragon area. But they did get an opportunity here Too Easy to clear out some of that lead.
The one thing that Cupcake does get from that kill is the fact that he's able to build into his boots of mobility and roam into the middle lane.
Oh, the Art of Ferns, classic Korean strats, just turns around when the stun goes out. Oh, they get the Bard ultimate though, and now Art of Ferns in a bit more trouble. He's trying to turn around on RKL, but there's just not the opportunity. Cupcake, this Bard is carrying this game. That, meanwhile though, Bomi was able to go proactive, finding out Rintoyama there around the bottom side with the help of all his friends. And that actually means Tigereye can keep up the pressure.
A lot of people have been talking about how everyone respects Cupcake in this game. Well, he's 2 kills, got the most kills in the game right now. He's going to put his team on his back. Take them to victory right now. But look at this dragon right now. There's no contest coming up at
what? Oh, no, the Bard is there.
The Bard is there.
Yeah, here it is. Cupcake. He actually did it. He zoned out Bomi. That's going to force Tigereye off this. I mean, we said this is a joke, right? But honestly, you have to respect what can happen with that Bard. Now, while they take this dragon, we'll look at what happened here up at the top side with Bomi and Rin. Honestly, this is just early Lee Sin. There's no two ways about it. And I like this kick into the queue. We've seen that so often from Lee Sin. And it works every single time. The dragon did get secured as well. Bomi did get quite low, but he's going to be able to get out, as is Brawler. So that kind of goes unanswered for Too Easy.
Yeah, Too Easy trying their best. I mean, trying to steal a dragon away from a Lee Sin, always such a tough ask, and you don't have an assassin jungler of your own. Lee Sin, with the execution damage, can steal dragon and secure it so well and escape back over the wall, even if he's got a tiny health bar.
Yeah, he didn't actually have his kick because he didn't have the maximum amount of safety, but the thing is, with no one really having kills or any significant kind of lead, it's not like Too Easy can pick a fight in that dragon pit and win. It's only if Bomi gets too low or mispositions that he would risk losing that. So he wasn't at risk of doing that once Too Easy had to back away, and Rintoyama was dead. He couldn't contest with the smite. So patient play by Bomi, and he is the more proactive jungler right now.
He does have more control around the map as well, dropping a lot of vision at the same time. And look at him, he's moving down to the bottom lane, taking control of the Rift Cutler.
So is Art of Ferns. And they're doing this with no vision down here for Too Easy.
And they've got teleport up for Rare Fiction.
Oh, I like. There's a ward right there.
There's a ward there. But Rare Fiction, if he uses teleport, it's going to be dove straight upon by Jack Attack, who's also brought up Rintoyama. They need to notice this as soon as possible, track where the enemy jungler is. Good call by Rare Fiction going out for a recall. He knows he's got teleport to answer to anything.
Yeah, he goes for the recall, but if he teleports back to lane, then that is something Jack Attack has up on him, and that equalizer is great in teamfights, less so in that lane, especially against the Maokai here.
There it goes.
Yeah, he goes for the teleport. So there is a window here for Too Easy to set up for something. Rintoyama, though, he needs to do a lot more legwork with this vision game than he currently has if they're going to set up for something that Jack Attack can take advantage of.
The thing is, though, Jack Attack needs to snare the correct target, actually needs to get in there. And a 4-second channel on teleport, unless the ward is miles away in the fog of war, it's just completely telegraphed, and you really need to catch people out of position. Maokai can't take advantage of that unless they bait in the kill. And while Artiferns, he is going quite far forward, but does have Boney there to back him up. There's a lot of pressure on the bottom lane side as well. OK Tiger and Brawler pushing up. CS advantages everywhere. They're soon to get a tower.
I want to talk about something rotational that's just happened here. Rotational. So, he just did the hand gesture. Rotational. Rotato potato. So, Rin Toyama, I just said, needs to be more proactive about the vision game. Cleared out a chunk of wards down the top side river. Then he left, started piling bottom side. Those wards got cleared out. He needs to find something in this gang where it's already been answered in the vision. They flash forward to find Brawler. Cupcake gets slow, but he does get out. They're not going to find OK Tiger at the back of this one, but they did at least find something. But oh no.
That's not a solid kill, actually. It's a gank in the middle
Yeah, it is
lane.
a gank in the mid lane, but that means it's answered, and now Tigereye have vision control, so that is an advantageous trade for them.
It is, yeah, a net gain in the end because Rin Toyama cannot wave clear against this turret threat right now. The cannon minion tanking it all up. If it doesn't go down, this mid lane turret is going to go low. Rin Toyama doing what he can.
Yeah, I mean, what he can is a good amount here. It is at least enough to stop the turret from dying, but it's not like he was going to be getting any support in there anytime soon. The rest of his team was kind of dead or had to commit somewhere else. Let's take a look at how that mid lane death went down.
Yeah, and it's actually just Artiferns connecting the tornado. Okay, he
No,
doesn't
he didn't go into that one.
All right, well,
Double speed.
what is it?
It's Bomi! And this is what I was just talking about. Rin Toyama actually kind of seeded all that vision control, but never mind all that because he's straight into a fight. Jack Attack is already getting bullied out by Bomi. Bomi is just doing work on him. He said, oh, but he misses the Q. Artiferns, though, he's going to try and pile up so they can secure Jack Attack, but they can't when he's bard ulted. Now Bomi's going to get turned around upon as Rin Toyama comes in. Jack Attack still able to get away, and a nice stun stops up the last tick from Artiferns. He drops down. Now Arkale onto Brawler. Oh, nice one! Ults him because Brawler was looking for the snare, ends up costing him. Arkale finding that one. This is how Too Easy can get back into it. And even though they had the vision control, Tigereye got greedy and they lose a fight for it.
The key thing is, though, they are still even in gold, so what needs to happen is Too Easy need to take some kind of control around the map through wards, through taking down the mid lane turret, or anything right now. Dragon spawning up soon, getting wards behind that would be good enough too.
But they're kind of doing none of those. I mean, they're getting a bit of vision around the dragon, right? But that's probably going to get swept out as soon as Tigereye back into that part of the jungle. Blinky didn't find bottom turret. Kale didn't find mid turret, and they could have done it with Rin and Cupcake. They found nothing. And like you said, the gold is just back to dead even. That is still a good fight because Too Easy did need to find something. It's now a bit easier for them to turn this into a winning situation, but that was not as much as they could have got.
Taking a look at the gold leads as well, it's honestly just most of the gold lead comes from Artiferns and OK Tiger in the mid lane and the bottom lane, but it's Rin Toyama who takes a lot of the gold for his own team, right? You see that, well, he's got a lot of kills, a lot of the assists.
Yeah, OK Tiger does indeed. And much like last game, he is the late game insurance policy, so as much as Too Easy even it up, they give themselves a bit more breathing room, a couple more options to turn this into a lead. If they don't do that, eventually Tigereye, much like last game, will outscale Rare Fiction. Get that equalizer available. Might want to come into this if it turns into a skirmish, but in any case, the Dragon is about to be live and Tigereye won it.
Tigereye need to be less afraid of using Rare Fiction in these fights. Even if he has to walk down to control the area around Dragon, that equalizer is so important when you're in this mid-game stage. His teleport is up soon, but they've got to recognize that a lot of the strength from their composition isn't ready unless it's down there with them.
Yeah, now Rare Fiction nearly has that teleport available. The siege starts to get on the mid lane for Tigereye. I think they're just wanting to pressure Too Easy back a little bit to give them space with the Dragon. Too Easy aren't having any of it though. And Artiferns pathing up to the top to secure more vision in the river means that actually Too Easy get a bit of position over this Dragon as it spawns. Scuttle Crab is in favor of Tigereye. Rin Toyama is going to eat a root. Bomi's here. Rin Toyama might have overstayed. He's going to be able to tunnel over the ball. Whoa, Bomi's following it up. He actually really wants this one.
He's got the Dragon range.
He does. Rin Toyama might get too low. The rest of the team is finally here to make the fight happen. But Rin Toyama's stunned. The Bardol saves him. But that means Artiferns can go into the back line for free. Arkale gets in trouble. He drops down. Brawler lives through it all. And Rin Toyama, of course, dropped when the Bardol expired. Too deep to secure vision. And now this is a Dragon for Tigereye.
And they did this all without Rare Fiction, like I was advising them through the stream. But in any case, he has his teleport available. He's recalling now, but Bomi will pick up this Mountain Drake. And with OK Tiger's poke potential, they can really start sieging down turrets.
That was Tigereye just cracking the game open there. And it was all Rin Toyama, right? Rin Toyama, He didn't need to get that last ward down. Artiferns was a way up to get more vision for the river. I wanted to talk about what that was going to mean, assuming Too Easy got the dragon, but they didn't. And now that that vision is there, Tigereye have all the control that you would normally only just be getting after that mid lane turret went down. And they got the mid lane turret!
Tigereye, for all their advantages that they've got so far, they still need to start bringing Rare Fiction into the mix. And you've got to give props to Jack Attack, because during that fight around the mid lane, he was keeping Rare Fiction on lockdown, thinking it was going to win his team the fight. But instead, he was the one that really needed to teleport down there. But in any case, he is managing to keep Rare Fiction locked up in the top lane. But now with the rotation, bringing Brawler up to the top lane, and eventually OK Tiger, that should change.
Yeah, I've got to disagree with you, actually. I don't think strategically they need to. I think they can, and it looks like they are wanting to do that. They're trying to unlock Rare Fiction here a little bit by forcing down this top turret, by rotating the duo lane up. I think they do need to bring Rare Fiction into fights, because I want to scream about a great equalizer.
Well, that's fair enough. Great equalizers. Well,
Yeah.
you're going to get a lot of them. You're going to get a lot of them, I believe.
Frost the Tiger says they're great.
Now, a lot of rotations coming up to the top side of the map.
This is the vision control for Too Easy at long last in this river. Can they get something out of it?
Well, I think that they might. They might even find Artiferns
Yeah,
here as Winterhammer cuts him off.
Yeah, that's one. And Artiferns nothing. He's actually roaming is here to try and help this one out, but RKL is as well. They're committing a teleport. Oh, cancelled out from Rare Fiction. And this does mean that Tigereye can probably take this top turret, actually.
And the answer, yeah, it's there in the top lane. They take down another turret right now. That's 3 turrets to 1, extending their gold lead even further. They've got CS leads. They've now got turret leads. They're looking great to move into this mid-game. Teleport might be down for Rare Fiction, but he always has the option of walking up and joining his team for fights.
And he's just putting pressure on this other lane, right? While OK Tiger and Brawler do it in the top. So this is Tigereye pressuring everywhere with Jack Attack dead. Too Easy can't answer it. They don't really have the wave clear to answer OK Tiger anyway. It's a really tricky one for them to position, and without the vision control, they are just finally starting to clear out some wards now, but they don't have control, make no mistake. Without, pardon me, that vision control, they can't exactly get a flank on either of these split pushes.
Always have to respect Rare Fiction's equalizer, because we've only seen it used in his own lane. He hasn't used it in team fights yet. We know it's going to be terrifying when he does. He's picked up his Leandri's Torment as well. It's going to be burning the heck out of them. It's going to be slowing them as well once he picks up his Rylai's Crystal Scepter. It looks like it's a little bit further down the line because he has had to pick up a bit of magic resist against the very magic-heavy damage team composition that Too Easy are running.
Too Easy do have a window back into this, though. That window is a catch with the Bard ult, followed up by a knock-up and a stun. They have to land a lot of things in the right time. Blinky does have good items as well to make fights go their way if they get the right people out of the fight at the right time using their other tools. Too Easy, though. It's going to be a hard one for them to find.
They've got to find an engagement onto Tigereye, and that gets very hard when there's an Ezreal picked up his Frozen Fist. He's actually turned his Mana Immune into Mirror Mana as well. He's really turning on in terms of items. And look at Artifan's mobility as well. Just around Jack Attack, he can't catch him.
Though Jack Attack does do a bit more damage, so it kind of says Artifans can't be the one to split push here, which is a bit of a shame. You kind of want Yasuo to do that. At the very least, he can't split push against Jack Attack. He will always be there to answer that one. Too Easy. Only a 2.5k gold lead in favor of Tigereye. So like I said, there are still windows, but Tigereye are really the ones who have had the vision control.
Yeah, Tigereye focusing a little more vision control around the middle side of the map, and particularly around that Baron. Now, I think it's a little bit too early to go for the Baron, of course. Not a huge advantage, but they can bait it out, because, of course, what's great around the river? It's an equalizer.
Exactly, and Rare Fiction is teleport about to come back up. We saw a moment ago they said, okay, Tiger and Brawler top. They sent Rare Fiction bottom, and the rest of them looked for something mid. Instead of that, this time, they can look to do something around the top side. Rare Fiction will have the teleport to come in.
I love the macro play coming up from Tigereye as well. They know exactly where they need to send their laners. Like you said, bringing the duo lane up into the top side of the map, putting the poke damage on whoever shows up. Because we were talking about, they don't have a lot of engage. The best they've got is Rin Toyama on that Rek'Sai, and really relies on the flash as well.
This is interesting, though, because as much as the vision control is in the top side for Tigereye, and they can make a lot of proactive plays using what they've got and their teleports, they've kind of dropped the ball on the Dragon Vision. Now, That being said, last time Too Easy made some mistakes when they tried to claim the Dragon Division, and actually now they're backed out. I think that's smart because they can't afford to fight here, but
Jack attack though.
he has to teleport to safety. This is so unfortunate. Out of firms, he can't quite knock out.
Oh, yes, he can!
Just barely! And ult Jack attack. Oh, he's donezo. That means Tigereye, well, they already had control over the Dragon pick before. Now they are definitely going to secure this Dragon. Oh, do they maybe want to go for a Baron here instead?
Oh, Baron's a little bit too risky because that's Jack attack.
Actually, Dragon's not up yet.
He did use teleport to try and escape that. So it is going to be on cooldown for when he respawns. It's 30 seconds away, and I feel like the pings are coming out. They've got the ward control around here. They may very well go for the Baron. They've got Equalizer. They've got great control around that choke point coming into the Baron. This is the call they're going to make.
And they actually could teleport. They could have even sent Rare Fiction bottom, but yeah, this is the call they're going to make. This is a 4 versus 5 at best for Too Easy, and they're going to have to fight across the Equalizer. The way they get into this, oh, I was about to say it was a Bardock, and then Archael, he gets a good one. He's found Rare Fiction into Armor, 3-man knock him, but they haven't got the follow-up because Blinky can't get in the fight. He can't do damage, and Rin's is focused down, stuck in the pit with the entirety of Tigereye. He does not escape. Cupcake gets to take his own portal at long last as OK Tiger scoops up Archael, and is all disaster for Too Easy. They got everything they needed to get except for that last little ingredient. They forgot the baking soda and vinegar. I always do that when I make cupcakes, and Blinky could not get into the fight.
I was seriously wondering where the heck you were going with that analogy, but in the end you got it. They got 2 kills, they got the Baron, and now they're looking to translate this into more of a power play. Of course, it's always great to get gold off of these, but in the end you need to get to that Nexus. You need to clear a path through all of those turrets. They can slowly but surely start sieging down these turrets with the Ezreal poke.
Take another look at how this went, because this was the, like I said, all the ingredients. First, they landed a great Bard ultimate. It might have been envisioned, but that doesn't matter. Cupcake gets 3 crucially bony artifacts and Rare Fiction. OK Tiger was untouched, but that didn't matter. Then they got a good Cassiopeia on 3, but the Equalizer stopped Blinky's follow-up. Then Rintoyama was caught in the pit. Archael also couldn't follow up, and without the tank in Jack Attack, because he was dead, they didn't have anyone who could keep the team alive for that fight. Like I said, all the ingredients but one. They couldn't get Blinky in for damage.
You've got to be shaking your head if you're Jack Attack, because that is what set up that Baron fight. The fact that if he hadn't used teleport as well, he could have been able to join that fight, but that is neither here nor now. It is now a team fight around this area in the jungle, and look at the vision control. Look at how they move between the lanes as well, putting pressure everywhere.
This is exactly how you do a Baron power play as well. You get the vision control, you siege down the most obvious turret. That's exactly what they're doing. They have Rare Fiction here. If they need, they can split him off. They're doing that, sorry, in the mid lane. They could split him off to the top lane is what I mean, while the rest of the team rotates to mid. They've got all the options, and if you're Too Easy right now, you're having flashbacks. You lose you over. Oh, sorry, you've lost to Tigereye before, and you might be about to do it again. Bard ultimate catches a lot of people. I don't know if that's good for them to get, but Hodder is owning up Bowman. That's crucial. Equalizes down though, makes it hard to fight this time. They do it. Jack Attack is staying in the back, and Rare Fiction forced out. They find Bowman. That's the first one. If they can get more, it could be great for them, but there's so much disengage. OK Tiger looking for Jack Attack on the backside, and he finds it. That's going to signal a turnaround, because Artiferns, he's going deep, but triple kill for OK Tiger, and it all turns sour for Too Easy once again, even as they look to find their way back in.
And of course, it's so hard to chase an Ezreal who's gone for that blue build. They're ignoring Cupcake. Well, Brawler's not. He's got to pay attention to it. But they're getting that inhibitor turret down. And Rintoyama can't defend this.
Yes,
the inhibitor itself dies.
Are they going to win? Are they just? I don't think they can. It's 25 seconds still. But hold on.
No, they're going.
Yeah, they're on the first turret. They've got a lot of damage. Rintoyama, there's not much he can do out of turns. Oh,
OK Tiger, mate!
Yeah, but OK Tiger is the one tanking it up. They haven't actually killed this turret. They do need to, because Blinky's back up. They will get it and back out. I still don't think they could have gone for the win, but in any case, Tigereye was a little bit dicey for a second, but hey, they did it, and Too Easy, like I said. They looked for a second like they had their in, but then they just went a bit too far. They overstepped just a little bit, and Jack Attack dying was disastrous.
You need to know, once you win a team fight, you've got to check the old health bars. You've got to know if you can chase down OK Tiger, who will be pounding you with the Mystic shots that are going to slow you down. So, of course, that's how OK Tiger turns the fight around.
Even then, though, could they chase Tigereye? I mean, look at the mobility they've got. They've got the Karma speed up. Yasuo is one slippery dude. They've got a ton of disengage. out of the Lee Sin. They've got the Q pokes from Ezreal, and there's a Rylai's. Sorry, there's a lie. That's a lie. But there's the slow on the Rubble. You can't chase this team comp, is what I'm trying to say.
Now, the key thing to look here is that super minion wave backing up in the bottom lane, and no Baron to pressure, but there's still a tier 2 turret up, which is going to give us a substantial amount more gold over to Tigereye. And out of fence, he's found Jack Attack here. Is he cut off?
And this is again, Jack Attack seems to be the one who gets caught.
The equalizer!
A nice equalizer stops any follow-up, and now Jack Attack, the Bard ultimate buys him some seconds, but it's not enough of them because the rest of the team couldn't get in over that amazing equalizer. Tigereye don't even need to find the rest of the fight. They just need to play patient, get this turret, and that has been story of the game. Win lane, win game. How can 2Easy even turn it around here?
Well, they can't win lane anymore. That phase is well over. 2Easy. Tigereye going to pick up another turret. These super minions are still pushing down, knocking on the Nexus's front door. 2Easy. They want a team fight, but they need to recognize when they can't continue to chase. But in any case, the respawn Jack Attack's still not up.
Out of turns, though, he's too deep. He eats the culling, the entire culling, and he can't get the knock-up. Blinky finds one back. This could be key for 2Easy. OK Tiger's now caught, and he can't get over the wall because that's going to get him straight into the jaws of OK Tiger. Another one for Blinky. Nice pick up there. And they overextend. It's disastrous with these two down, these massive cooldowns. Sorry, massive respawn timers. 2Easy have a window to get something back on the board.
It's almost not safe enough to go for it, though. There's one Nexus turret remaining. It's on low health. Jack Attack respawning just in time with 2 members of Tigereye dead for a very long time. Jack Attack can teleport, but what can they get from it? There's tier 1 turrets to go for, but there's no mini waves pushed up. The vision isn't there. Baron's not available. They couldn't do it in time anyway. They won a team fight, but only got gold for it.
Yeah, and I also want to say that was because Tigereye overextended. That's it. I'm sorry to be harsh, 2Easy, but that was it. It doesn't mean they're bad. It doesn't mean that they don't have great strengths, because they did also take perfect advantage of that. But Tigereye are still in the lead here and can still close it out. They just need to be a little bit more methodical now, and you can bet after that they will have learned a bit of patience. Again, story of this game has just been win lane, win game for Tigereye. They are just looking so much more solid, and 2Easy, they lost to this team not a week ago.
You've got to hand it over to Rare Fiction as well, as equalizers have been on point. So it's not just winning the lane as well, it's taking that advantage and using one of the strongest ultimates in teamfights in the game, and using that to snowball your way into the victory screen right here. They're almost 10,000 gold ahead right now. It's only a slight kill lead, just from a few oversteps coming up from 2Easy. But look at the control they've got around the map right now. They do need to bring OK Tiger up, but Super Minion's still pushing in that bottom lane.
That's the thing, I feel like all game long, even when it's looked kind of tight, even when they had the Matrix in their favor, never mind all that, I'll touch on it later, because Tigereye, they're getting engaged upon. Oh, out of turns! Blinky's using the power spike. The equalizer funny comes down, but Rare Fiction, he's actually isolated from his team now, and 2Easy can look for him. Forced to flash out of the Bard ultimate. It's only 1 for 2Easy, but they're showing that they can take advantage of Tigereye splitting like that. Okay, Tiger. No.
And they need to know their limits when they've got their AD carry on the other side of the map. OK Tiger has been a big proponent of them winning teamfights right now, putting out so much damage from a safe distance. They are keeping all 5 members of 2Easy on this top lane turret, and that super minion wave is piling up. Someone has to go answer it, and then they can go for an even fight again.
Jack Attack now, he's taken some chunks, but they're zoning off Jack Attack. Sorry, they're zoning off Rare Fiction as best as they can. I think slowly Tigereye will be able to get this turret just because they have the poke. That's how they can continue to win. Like I was saying before, it feels like even when it's been quite even, especially earlier on this game, Tigereye were the ones who kind of had the pressure in their favor, who had the vision in their favor. A couple of positional slip-ups have given 2Easy some kills back on the board, but I don't know if it's quite enough at this point. Tigereye still in the dominant position.
The timing on that inhibitor respawn, good guy. I'm sure he can stay in the game, but
Cupcake's out. He's out. He's out. Oh, Rare Fiction wants it. Ah, Equalizer Cupcake. Nowhere to go, so Brawler catches that one. Jack Attack, he's actually... sorry, Blinky is the person I meant to say. Wasn't able to be in that fight because he had to clear up the last few minions on that inhibitor. That means the turret drops.
And Baron buff is now live. The wards are there for Tigereye. They can mow down the Baron very quickly with the amount of damage they've got. They've got a massive carry in the mid lane and the bottom lane. But how do 2Easy recognize this? There's a dead Cupcake.
Yeah, and like I said, last time this Baron fight happened, they didn't have all the ingredients. And this time, the one they don't have is the Bard ultimate. They need to find something. Culling is not enough. Rintoyama, he's gone in, but the Baron's already dead. He's just going to sit and die in the pit. No reason for him to even go in. And now with 2 members down to 3 on 5, 2 Too Easy. They know they have to back out. They can't afford to take the team fight. But if they back out and don't take the team fight, eventually they're going to get sieged out. It's looking even more grim than ever for Too Easy.
And it's hardly a siege where there's not even a turret in that bottom lane to defend that inhibitor. They're going to go down to the mid lane as well with the Baron buff. They could go with split pushing here, but honestly, they don't need to. Rare Fiction, his ultimate is coming back up. The Equalizer could be the game-winning ultimate for him.
Well, even if it isn't, then it's looking like Tigereye are on track to win. The question is, what could be the game-changing ultimate for Too Easy? It needs to be a huge Cassiopeia stun. They're looking for it. They're using the miasma field as well. They're going aggressive, even though they don't have Ring Toyama. This could blow up in their faces if they overstep. They're just trying to keep the inhibitor alive. They might just need to seed it. Look for a fight later. The inhibitor is still alive somehow. The last shot there from the buffed up cannon minion. Cupcake, that was a bit of an odd portal. He now does not have that for any chase down. Tigereye, one inhibitor down. Bide their time. Take another for sure.
Too Easy, they're standing on their last legs right now, and you said it best when the way they come back into this game is going to be with a miracle of a Cassiopeia roll. That Petrifying Gaze has to be on point. There's no other massive playmaking ultimates apart from Cupcakes. The Tempered Fate has got to be the one that sets up the Petrifying Gaze in the end anyway, and that is a good thing to do, but it's going to be relying on Tigereye slipping off.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Too Easy a bit of a checklist here, right? They need to land a good Bard ultimate, need to land a good Cassiopeia follow-up, need to get Blinky following up on that damage, which means Equalizer needs to either have been burned or not get used in that window. They need to burst out Artiferns, and they need to stop OK Tiger from retreating. If they can hit all of those, if they can tick all 11 boxes, they can win a team fight. Tigereye, they just need to continue pressure instructions.
Tigereye just need to tick all 11 boxes of the towers. They are 2 away from that. There are 11 totals. Who goes next to turrets?
Yeah, good one. Good segue, good segue.
Yep. And, well, actually, one of those is actually in the top
Yeah.
lane as well. There's only one Nexus turret standing between Tigereye and that slot against the villains,
Taking
where they
the patient
can
option.
continue their path to the grand final. But we're almost there. Tigereye, one more fight could send them there.
Yeah, and they're giving a lot of respect still to those 11 boxes from Too Easy, but they don't even need to. They're already pressuring on the inhibitor. Rin Toyama's starting to look for it, but he might have gone in too deep. Bogey's looking for something himself, and he's looking for RKL. That's the key one, because that's one of the 11 boxes is that ultimate. The Bard ultimate goes out, but it's suboptimal. RKL dead. They can't do it. Blinky knocked up. Artiferns finally drops, but it is a massacre in the base. Jack attack now to fall, and even on the fountain, Blinky dies. Cupcake gonna get unmade here, completely destroyed. Too Easy. They had a good game 1, but in these last 2 games, Tigereye dismantled them. They beat them once, they beat them again, and now they look to beat the villains on Wednesday to secure their path to the final. Could this be the team that takes down King 5?
Tigereye have their sights set on taking down the villains, and with the villains' last match that we saw in the Hexadome looking incredibly shaky, Tigereye have got to be feeling great about their chances as well. After tonight, they fought a hard battle against a difficult team, but they came out on top, and what a match it was.
What a match indeed. Like I said, Too Easy. In game 1, they had a strategy. They executed it well. There were even points where they could have changed it up and still won, but they didn't need to, right? They still executed well. That just wasn't there for them in game 2. And again, it wasn't there for them in game 3. They were not able to execute on their plans. And Tigereye, they looked like they just had more options for strategies. They looked like they had cleaner execution, cleaner control, and I would say cleaner control than we've even seen out of the villains. And in that vein, I want to start touching on that Wednesday. This week has really been who gets to challenge King 5. The villains have already lost to them. Too Easy now out of the running. Is Tigereye our team?
Tigereye, honestly, they look strong tonight, but that's against Too Easy, not the top of the table King 5. If any of the 2 remaining teams that aren't King 5 have a hope in defeating them, they've got to up their game immensely over the next week, because King 5 have looked untouchable right now.
That they have. And of course, before Tigereye can get to King 5, they will have to come up against the villains on Wednesday. That is, of course, going to be with both of the teams live here in the Hexadome. So definitely tune into that one on Sky Sport 3 at 7 p.m. If you don't have Sky, head on down to head on down to the viewing party.
The official viewing party.
The viewing party. Or to your mate's place who has Sky. That's also an option. That's how we did it back in the rugby days. I guess we still do now. But head on down to the scene at the Viaduct if you want to check that one out. There is also a rebroadcast on Thursday, but honestly, you want to catch this one live. It is going to be super. And I want to touch on that matchup just a little bit before we sign off for the night. Tigereye versus Villains. Villains want to, first of all, they want to reclaim their throne. That means they want to challenge King 5, which means they want to beat Tigereye. They've watched tonight. What did they take away from this so that they can come and prepared for Wednesday?
So, in the last matchup on Wednesday, we saw a lot of shakiness may have come a little bit from the bottom lane where they did bring in a new support. So roster changes have been affecting them. It has to have been, otherwise, because I don't believe it's nerves. They've played in the Hexadome before. They know that they can handle the pressure. Having a new lineup has been a little bit rough on them. They do have Drow back, so they definitely have a little bit more strength in the consistency of their roster. But I feel like after the performance tonight, OK Tiger has been outstanding in the bottom lane on all 3 games at Ezreal has been immense. And the fact that teams are already banning Jhin against them, now there's Ezreal as well.
Exactly. And that wasn't Ezreal that in both of those 1 games was able to get a lead that honestly I feel that Ezreal shouldn't even be allowed to get. Villains, to their credit, are a team I don't think would let OK Tiger get that, but you know, by being proactive in that bottom lane, they've probably sacrificed stuff elsewhere. We saw Bomi was super proactive in Vision in this game. Like I said, even when all the metrics were pretty close to even, Tigereye just always looked in control. They looked like they were the ones deciding where plays happened. And it was a combination of just pure vision control and also straight up outpathing by Bomi. That's something they're going to take into this matchup against the Villains, where Dolphs is known as a strong jungler, but he's suffered some losses recently, and there's questions around his play now.
I feel like the place to target for the Villains has got to be the mid lane. Artifernes, very strong player, as we saw tonight, but Kensti, I've got to say, is the star of the Villains. A massive carry in the mid lane, loves those late game champions. Like Vladimir has a similar pull to Artifernes. Get pick priority for Kensti, camp the mid lane with Dolphs, shut down one of the strongest players on Tigereye, and Villains could look for a chance to win.
And that similar pool is pretty key. You even mentioned it tonight. Artifernes, super deep champion pool, really hard to ban the guy out, and often very central to whatever team comp Tigereye decide. And we saw tonight, they brought 3 different strategies to the table. One of them didn't work out. Let's just keep that in mind. But they brought 3 different strategies to the table, all of which had very similar picks, except for that mid and top. So one of those does need to get focused out, I think you're right, by the Villains. And I think mid is where they can do it because of Kensti, but again, you have to worry about how proactive Bomi is. Even if you counter out one of those lanes, Bomi, you can guarantee, will just, the classic jungler, snowball a winning lane. Go for someone else.
And it's different champion pools as well between the junglers as well. Bomi really favouring that Lee Sin and occasionally the Rek'Sai as well. Whereas Dolphs favours Elise, favours Nidalee, favours a little bit more carry diving oriented junglers as well. But definitely doesn't share the Lee Sin champion pool, I believe. So we won't see a lot of champion contests behind them, but different playstyles will come through when they play on Wednesday in the Hexadome.
And we have seen time after time, Bomi has been able to beat out these junglers who go for very carry-oriented playstyles. I think we need to see Dolphs on the tanky stuff, but never mind all that and more on Wednesday. Like I said, tune in on Sky Sport 3 at 7 p.m. or head on down to the scene at the Viaduct for our official viewing party. Also, you can pre-book your spot there, get yourself an $8 voucher. That's pretty much a free drink. Definitely take advantage of that.
Might want to say where you can do that. That's at letsplay.live. You can find all the information about the viewing party there as well. So it's all about pre-registering, getting that $8 hospitality voucher.
Oh, yeah.
Get a free drink.
Yeah, definitely do it. And the drinks are pretty nice as well. We have custom drinks too. Woo! All this and more. We're not going to bother hyping up more of the viewing party though, because you already know it's going to be great. So head on down there and we will meet you at that broadcast. We will join you on Wednesday. But for tonight, we saw another team go home. We are down to our final 3. Too Easy get sent packing. Tigereye look to challenge the Villains. And Tigereye, maybe they'll be able to take it to the grand final. Maybe it'll be the Villains.
We'll have to find out on Wednesday. Wednesday.
We will have to find out on the Wednesday. So join us there on the Wednesday. And for those of you who tuned in tonight, thank you so much for watching. Congratulations to Tigereye and my condolences to Too Easy. Thank you so much for tuning in. And from all of us here at the production team, have a wonderful night.
The Invicta players actually take it to the mid lane, but the fact is he's able to pin him into the mid lane, but who cares about that?
Oh, yeah, well, some of us do, but Bobby's going to have to go under turret if he wants to close this one out. He's sticking under there, they will get first blood. Oh, is that one shot too many? What? There's Rin with it. Now he's going to get onto Rare Fiction, throws down the ultimate, but I mean, Rare Fiction's still on the minion wave. Rin can just kind of live through it just a little bit.
Oh,
This
no
could be
way.
a kill. He hasn't figured it out. You can tell he's wanting to ward. He hasn't even figured out that something's up. They're going to commit. This Jack Attack's gone Mega Rare Fiction. He is a dead man. I don't even like his back up, but Jack Attack having to take it for a time being. But Prince Toyama's the one taking it now. Artifans has come up with a response though, and this is how Tigereye can get back in. It's getting Artifans fingers going in. Rare Fiction dies. Artifans shoots down the ult, but RKL matches the rope, and now they can turn it onto Artifans. This will be huge for Too Easy into the gravity well. He does eat it up, but he will be able to get a little bit of heal out of that. Q. Oh, no way! Jeez! And it doesn't look like they're dead because now they're rotating back to the top turret.
And RKL, he's already got a lot of damage. Rare Fiction
Oh,
though!
Rare Fiction didn't see it coming. He didn't realize that Rin Toyama's keeping OK Tiger busy. That means he's not dealing any damage. And now the rest of the carries are starting to deal damage back to Rare Fiction. OK Tiger goes down as Jack Attack finds him, and he's about to go Mega. That's right, he's not even Mega yet. Now he finds it, scoops the Rare Fiction drops, and this is going to be it. This is what Too Easy wanted to do. I was about to say, Tigereye, they can't fight because they're not strong enough, and even if they did fight,
Numbers advantage and super minions pushing down the mid lane. They just have to bide their time right now, but they don't even want to do that.
So it's already Bobby going in with the kick to try and stop the dive and engage, but it's not enough because it's a 4v5. Rin is having to take the damage still as the Guardian Angel that has not been popped, and the entire Tigereye lineup back away from the turret. Oh, Brawler dropping on the side. Cupcake actually needs to get out of here. Okay, Tiger drops. Laugh until he arrives in lane against hit by the turret. Cupcake already taken chunks. Bobby knows what's for dinner. It's fried fish. Cupcake tried to bubble and kill OK Tiger. Actually, Bobby holding tight as well to make sure overreached by Jack Attack.
And Too Easy spent the majority of that
Oh.
running up to matches.
Oh, what on earth? Now Rare Fiction is the one who stays too long, getting too sure of himself. Now Rin Toyama's going to be able to muscle out Bomi. He's got a bit of a CS lead himself. I don't know if he can quite go for a dive here. He wants to try it. Bomi, he can do a lot of damage back though. Rin Toyama needs to respect that. Oh, they're making it a slog. Rin Toyama just barely. He's going to pass right into Artifans. No, don't kill the front. Just get out of there.
Oh no, he
What?
had to stick it out.
Artifans. Oh, Rin Toyama did not need Toyama. Rin Toyama get out, and can Rare Fiction get out? He can't. Jack Attack gets that one, but Artifans is down to live with him. Rin Toyama needs to pass around and try and help him out. Otherwise, he's in trouble. Artifans, though, RKL's come back up. Oh no! What? Artifans! He saw what was happening, went, I'm having none of that. Left Jack Attack, turned around, dealt with RKL. Now they're going to deal with Jack Attack, dropping him down. And two answers. Rare Fiction's the one he's put out. Even if Rare Fiction dies, I can't even say this is a great turnaround. Now RKL's getting caught out, knocked up, dropped down. Artifans finds that one. Now he wants to get on the backline, trying to deal with Blinky. The more Malmotion shield is going to be enough to keep him alive, so the Brawler picks up Blinky. Now Rare Fiction still alive. Onto Jack Attack, who is going to get dropped out even as Rare Fiction dies under the turret. They do finally find him. Bobby drops out as well.
As I say that, RKL's caught out.
Yeah, he is caught out. Oh, that's a nice pick up in the Ezreal ultimate as well. Okay, Tiger secures that. Now Artifans already getting onto the back line, trying to set something up. Gets the double knockup, gets the ultimate as well. That's going to allow the follow-up for Rin Toyama. Rare Fiction finds that. Jack Attack, he might be able to get out, but he'll be only one alongside Cupcake. Once he turns in the background himself now, he will get traded back, but the rest of the Tiger
lineup can keep this line alive because they've still got OK
Tiger, and they've still got Bomi, but they don't quite want it. They're just trying to disengage. And actually, this is where Too Easy can start to win it, because they want Tigereye to flee. They want to stick on them, chase them down, chip them away. Okay, Tiger, now they're committing again too late because they've already lost Rare Fiction. Vision, he's going to go super deep here. They're just waiting for someone else from Too Easy to show their face, and now they're going to fight Cupcake. Oh, poor guy. Like I said, they're waiting for someone else to reveal this. Now they're turning the fight on to instead. There's going to be the kill onto Rin Toyama, or Guardian Angel onto Rin Toyama. Kills onto other people though, as RKL now to drop down. Rin Toyama is going to die at long last time for the turret Bomi. And one Rin Toyama's come in though. Hold on, what? What was that? By Jack Attack, he's already getting bullied out by Bomi. Bomi is just doing work on him. He said, oh, this is the cue.
Out of bounds though, he's going to try and carve up some really secure Jack Attack. They can't really start on it. Now Bobby's going to get turned around the corner. Toyama comes in. Jack Attack still able to get away. And a nice stun stops up the last tip from Out of bounds. He drops down. Now Arcale onto Brawler. Oh! Nice one! Ults him because the other way it's too low. The rest of the team is finally going to make the fight happen. But Red Toyama stuns. The Bardol saves him. But that means Out of bounds can go into the back line for free. Arcale gets in trouble. He drops down. Oh, yes, he can! Just barely! And ult Jack Attack. Oh, he's done so. That means Tigereye, well, they already had control of the Dragon moving forth. Now they're going to have to fight across the equalizer. The way they get into this. Oh, I was about to say, it's a Bardol. And then Arcale, he gets a good one. He's found Reflection, runs around the 3-man knockup, but they haven't got the follow-up because Blinky can't get in the fight. He can't do damage and wins. Now focused down, stuck in the pit with the entirety of Tigereye. He does not escape. Cut the distance in his own portal. Among us, so the Tiger scoops up by Arcale and he's all roaming. That's the first one. If he can get more, it could be great for them. But there's so much disengage. Okay, Tiger looking for Jack Attack on the backside and he finds it. That's going to signal the turnaround because Out of bounds, he's going to need a triple kill for OK Tiger.
They screwed one or two, like they need to break the guys when they can't continue the chase. But in any case, the Jack Attack still on.
Out of bounds, though, he's too deep. He is culling the entire culling and he can't get the knockup. Blinky finds one back. This triple kill for too easy. The OK Tiger's now caught and he can't get over the wall because he's going to get him straight. Smoking Tiger, another one for Blinky. Nice picked up there. And himself, and he's looking for Arcale. That's the key one, because that's one of the 11 boxes. Is that ultimate? The Bardol goes out, but it's suboptimal. Arcale dead. They can't do it. Blinky knocked up. Artifice finally drops, but it is a massacre in the base. Jack Attack now to fall, and even on the fountain, Blinky dies. Cupcake gonna get unmade here completely, and now they look to beat the Villains on Wednesday to secure their path to the final. Could this be the...
The NZGC is a production of Let's Play Live and brought to you by Logitech G, Twitch, Playtech, Adina Hotel, and all our fantastic technology and media partners.